Well, hello and good evening. How are you all today? Welcome to the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. Here at the Delver's Dungeon, I, of course, am your happy host, the Dungeon Delver, aka Bill Sylvie. And yes, I am rocking a Hellfire Club t-shirt that my family got me for Father's Day, but it just arrived today. I did have my very cool Incredible Hulk t-shirt on, which is just awesome, earlier, but I got the Hellfire Club shirt going now. And before anybody asks, no, I am not Eddie Munson. But I'm glad to see you guys, and I hope you're all doing well. And greetings, Praxis, Lord Corion, hello. Cybernaculum, thank you for the compliment on the shirt. If you're new to us, if you're just stopping by, if you're just saying hello for the first time, welcome. It's good to see you all, and it's good to be seen by you all. So let me do something. I gotta adjust my chair a little bit. This is not a great. I'm gonna lift us up a little bit. Hang on a second. There we go. It might not look like much to you guys, but to me, it's a great help, and it stops my right leg from being grinded into a big, huge storage bin full of computer garbage that is underneath this table right here. Greetings, Damien. It's wonderful to see you. So whether you find yourself here by accident or on purpose or through whatever means, howdy. Let's see. We are going to talk a little bit about White Plume Mountain. We're not going to get into a super duper deep dive on White Plume Mountain tonight. We're going to kind of start to look at it a little bit. Now, I have said before, I am not a huge fan of the TSR S1 to 4 Realms of Horror, primarily because it was kind of slapdash and they literally left parts of maps out. It was not very well put together. And if you're not sure what Realms of Horror is, you're not missing anything. If you lay your hands on a copy of it, they go for like $125 or something like that. I would sell it and buy the separate modules, S1, 2, 3, and 4, separately. AD&D brings you here and you stay for the Black Razor. But, yeah, so don't say, oh, well, I can just complete my collection of classic TSR adventures by getting S1 to 4 Realms of Horror. But let me tell you, and I can't believe I didn't touch on this. I was just so hyped on talking about S1 as illustrated by my buddy Tracy Lesh and S1 as was finally published, and not thinking about S1 to 4 Realms of Horror, that I completely overlooked an actual worthy compilation. And I want to talk about that a little bit before we get into White Plume Mountain. If you want a compilation of all the modules, you just want everything in one single thin volume. Well, it's not a very thin volume. Pick this up. This is Dungeons of Dread, and this is All Gary and Law Schick. And this is a single volume, unexpurgated, unedited compilation of the S series of adventures. There's no attempt to bridge them like, oh, you venture into the Tomb of Horrors and messages guide you to the White Plume Mountain, and then so on and etc. It is just the modules in a single volume, single convenient volume. If there is a single problem with this, it is that the color plates in S3, and yes, there are color plates in S3, are not in this volume. All the plates are reproduced in black and white. I think the color plates would have made it extraordinarily expensive. Praxis, the maps are very good, and I shouldn't have pulled that bookmark out that I did. Let me see if it'll fall back open to that. But I just want to show this off real quick. Let's see. That's a reproduction of the non-repro blue maps, but done in black for White Plume Mountain. They are crisp, they are awesome, and I highly, highly recommend getting this just for that alone. And this is a very well put together hardback. This is not a late 1E, early 2E series of hardback where it's falling apart the minute you get it. But one of the things that really attracted me to getting this, and I'm so glad that I did, I do believe this is available as pod, or at least as PDF, which you can then get printed on demand. But there is actually introductory text, additional introductory text given by Lawrence Schick. Let's read his thoughts on these modules. They came to him and said, hey, we're going to publish kind of an omnibus edition. How good is it? And I wish Wizards of the Coast had done the same thing with the Against the Giants, just in a lovely hardback book like this, because I have a sneaking feeling that Goodman Games is going to come out with some like $190 car battery size and weight compilation of the Giants series eventually. And I'm not here for that. I think they've done some good, like putting B1 and B2 in a single volume that at the time was, $65 or something like that was okay. S3 is all right. I really wish it had the original tournament version, but I understand through no fault of their own that they couldn't do that. But honestly, that, well, you can see the ass end of it right here, of Temple of Elemental Evil, that didn't really even give us a look at some of the stuff that would have been awesome. Yeah, I don't care for it. So if we're going to get an omnibus of the Giants series, even though this is almost 10 years old, I would really like it if Wizards of the Coast would do something like this. But now, a rotating set of Emma Frost pics on the viewing screen. Oh, Hellfire Club. I gotcha. I don't know that people would want to associate the sinister beauty of Emma Frost with my dorky voice, though. I wouldn't want to spoil the illusion for anybody. But I like I like your lateral thinking there, Luther. Anyway, now let's take a look here. And I don't have a PDF of this to share with you guys to put this up on screen. We will have White Plume Mountain on the screen when we're talking about White Plume Mountain, but I don't have a PDF of this. Before I dive into this, before I read the little preambles that are so well done, let me see here. Where is my... Oh, and by the way, something I want to mention while I'm bringing this up. If you're a friend of mine over on Facebook and all you saw was the YouTube link and you didn't see a Bill is going live link, I've already talked about this. And I have heard nothing back from YouTube about what my video allegedly did. That what 1 second of music was. Greetings, Vincent. Good to see you. Until or unless I get some clarification from YouTube, I don't know, or not YouTube, Facebook. Until or unless I get some clarification from Facebook, I can't move forward on that platform anymore. I don't know what they'll do. I don't know if they'll just drop my whole account. Yeah, you got that right, Luther. So for now, if you're a friend over on Facebook, come over and watch it on YouTube, please. And give it a like if you like it. Give it a dislike if you don't like it. Leave a comment either way. And maybe you'll subscribe to me over here. But if you just want to stay my friend on Facebook who watches my videos, that's fine too. Hello, Tonka. I mean, I'm close. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. So let's see. Let me see. We're going to adventures. Use edition. First edition. And we're going to do, let's see. We'll search for Dread. Let's just look for Dread. Probably going to bring up Isle of Dread, but that's okay. So this is available as a PDF. Well, what just happened? There we go. Okay. No, you can get this standard color and you can get it print, and it's not very expensive. It's $18 for a deluxe. For a standard color soft cover and a PDF. It's not bad. Can't flush Facebook has made of Cheerios. So if you want a good compilation of all of the S modules, and they are complete, they are how they should be, you could do a lot worse than to spend the $18 to get the printed version of this. It's soft cover in its standard color, which means it's like inkjet quality. But then you could take your PDF and take it someplace and have it hardback bound, like through Lulu or Printivity or a local print shop or something like that. And I recommend doing it. Now, let's take a look at the foreword in here by Lawrence Schick, who wrote White Plume Mountain. Welcome to Dungeons of Dread, the archival collection of adventure modules S1 through S4. I'm sorry, it's a little dim in here, guys. All four of these scenarios are desirable desirable fan favorites that have stood the test of time, albeit for very different reasons. Hang tight on that, Lord Corion, but I appreciate that offer. So this is what Law had to say about Tomb of Horrors. S1 Tomb of Horrors is the most famous advanced Dungeons and Dragons, is one of the most famous advanced Dungeons and Dragons scenarios in the history of the game. It passed through several iterations, first appearing in Gary's campaign as a dangerous, as a dungeon designed to challenge. Damn it. Sorry, the typeface is just a little hard to read. As a dungeon designed to challenge his players' high-level characters and take them down a peg. It was formally written up as a tournament module for the 1975 Origins Game Convention, then revised in late 1977 for publication as an AD&D module, which we've talked about. The Dungeon of the Demi-Lich of Sararak, who's just a skull head with jewels, by the way. The Dungeons of the Demi-Lich of Sararak was, for Gary, a kind of thought experiment. If an undead sorcerer really wanted to keep his tomb from being plundered by greedy adventurers, how would he do it? The answer, of course, was to defend the crypt with tricks and traps, not to challenge intruders, but to kill them dead. And furthermore, to do it with such to do it in ways so horrific that all but the most determined party would give up and leave well enough alone. Sorry, and again, guys, studio lights, tiny print, 52-year-old eyes, almost 53. Now, this is interesting. I love this story. We're gonna talk about White Plume Mountain here for a second. Module S2, my own White Plume Mountain, wasn't written to be published. I wrote it as a submission to persuade Gary that he ought to hire me as an RPG designer. Mission accomplished. Gary offered me a job and also, to my surprise, offered to publish White Plume Mountain exactly as written. Gratifying, of course, but also a little embarrassing, since the adventure was really just a sample of clever ideas that were never fully fleshed out. Its central conceit, a funhouse dungeon full of tricky obstacles designed to challenge adventurers for the amusement of a mad wizard, was already a cliche over at that time, or even at that time. And I was all too aware sorry. Bad wizard was a cliche even at the time. And as I was all too aware that the artifact weapon Black Razor included to show I could adapt artifacts from other media to AD&D, was a descendant of Elric's Stormbringer. But unlike Tomb of Horrors, the challenges in White Plume Mountain are designed to make players think, work together as a party, and ultimately win through and feel successful. Players liked that. Sorry I stumbled through that, guys. Again, my eyes, they ain't so hot. So that's Law's introduction to the first two modules. And we'll look at his introductions to the others. But again, pick yourself up a copy of this. It's good. It is very, very handy to have. I'm going to keep it off the bookshelf. Todd says, we had to find and return the weapons to a temple because they were proof of a prophecy fulfilled. I like that. So you guys give me just a minute here. And we're gonna take a little bit of a side detour. We're gonna start S2. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Personal history of S2. I did not play S2 back in the day. I knew about it, never looked into it, had seen the cover. No DM ran it, and I was more into creating my own things / did not have the money. So hang on a second. So, just trying to get this here. Anyway, I did not play it back in the day. I just didn't. However, when I got back into AD&D in the 90s and the early 2000s, I grabbed a copy of it because, hey, I wanted to dive in and I wanted to hit all the stuff that I missed when I was off doing my own campaign type stuff. in my first read through of White Plume Mountain, I was like, this is trash. This is absolute illogical garbage. I don't like this. But as time has gone on, over time, I fell in love with White Plume Mountain. I absolutely, positively love White Plume Mountain. It is hands down one of my favorite adventures of all time. And well, we're going to see why here in just a few minutes. Now, like a lot of classic D&D modules, there has been a return to White Plume Mountain. I've read it. It's not good. I have to admit, I don't care for it. Not my favorite thing. But without further ado, let's dive in. Let's take a look at White Plume Mountain. I'm going to bring this up here. Now, the PDF I have is a not great scan of the orange cover of the module. And I don't think this is OCR'd. No, this is not OCR'd. So we may suffer from scoliosis. But as I said, in finishing up S1, we're going to look at each encounter in order that I think is worth noting. But we're not going to like skip all the way to the end, then jump back to 18 and then over to 4. We're going to go all the way through. That doesn't necessarily mean all of them. Because Lord knows when we get to S3, we'll be here for months covering S3. And I know Luther is very enthusiastic about Expedition of the Barrier Peaks, but good Lord, that is a big ask. So let's see here. Let's share screen. Don't ask me that again. Share screen. Boop. There we go. White Plume Mountain by Lawrence Schick. And this is one of those things that I think you can throw at multiple parties, even if you're doing a living campaign world. You just have it reset. Particularly if the players in question don't get the weapons or don't get all the weapons. Luther says, White Plume Mountain is a crazy expedition. Expedition of the Barrier Peaks is even more crazy. I agree. All right, so there is our cover. This is the 1980 revision. The original features artwork, of course, by, I think it's, is it Errol Otis on the cover? Well, you know what? We'll see, because they usually put the art. No, it's Dave Sutherland. I like them both. You know, Jeff D brought a poppy, snappy, modern comic book look to the art. But there was certainly a gritty, darker fantasy aspect with Dave Sutherland's art. And I think they're both good. So let's look at the introduction. So if you don't know your way around White Plume Mountain, settle in. We've got a little more than half an hour to dive in. White Plume Mountain has always been a subject of superstitious awe to the neighboring villagers. People still travel many miles to gaze upon this natural wonder, though few will approach it closely, as it is reputed to be the haunt of various demons and devils. The occasional disappearance of those who stray too close to the plume reinforces this belief. 1,300 years ago, the wizard Charybdis was searching for a suitable haven where he could indulge his eccentricities without fear of interference. He visited White Plume Mountain, going closer than most dared to, and discovered the system of old lava tubes that riddled the cone and the underlying strata. With a little alteration, he thought, these would be perfect for his purposes. The area already had a bad reputation, and he could think of a few ways to make it worse. So, taking with him his fanatically loyal company of renegade gnomes, he disappeared below White Plume Mountain and vanished from the knowledge of men. Today, the once feared name of Caraptus is little known even to learned scholars. Little known, that is, until several weeks ago, when 3 highly valued magical weapons with cryptic names of Wave, Whelm, and Black Razor disappeared from the vaults of their owners in the midst of the city of Greyhawk. Rewards were posted, servants hanged. Even the sanctuary of the Thieves Guild was violated in the frantic search for the priceless arms. But not even a single clue was turned up until the weapon's former owners, all wealthy collectors, each received a copy of the following note. Search ye far or search ye near, you'll find no trace of the 3, unless you follow instructions clear, for the weapons abide with me. North past forest, farm, and furrow, you must go to the feathered mound. Then down away from the sun you'll burrow. Forget life, forget light, forget sound. To rescue Wave, you must do battle with a beast in the boiling bubble. Crossed caverns vast where chain links rattle, lies Whelm past waterspouts double. Black Razor yet remains to be won underneath inverted ziggurat. That garnered, think not that you're done, for now you'll find you're caught. I care not, former owners brave, what heroes you seek to hire. Though mighty, I'll make each one my slave, or send him to the fire. Hail Lobster Unbreaded, Michael Connor. It was signed with the symbol of Caraptus. White Plume Mountain has tentatively been identified as the feathered mound of the poem. The former owners of Wave, Whelm, and Black Razor are outfitting a group of intrepid heroes to take up the challenge. If the adventurers can recover the weapons from this false Caraptus, for who can believe it is really the magician of legend after 1,300 years? The wealthy collectors have promised to grant them whatever they desire if it was within their power to do so. So, this is Lawshik's little entry there. And of course, we have an admonition to please read the entire module, let the players determine their own course of action, and give nothing away. Now, if you're playing in the World of Greyhawk, if you're not doing your own campaign, conveniently, we have a little bit of indication exactly where you can stick a pin in your big World of Greyhawk map on your game room wall. White Plume Mountain is located in the northeastern part of the Shield Lands near the Bandit Kingdoms and the Great Rift. See World of Greyhawk, available from TSR. However, those who wish to integrate this module in their own campaign can place White Plume Mountain wherever they like, and the party may be required to journey to the vicinity through wilderness. How they get there is up to you. So, a little bit of a hint. So, of course, we have a start. The party has arrived at White Plume Mountain, which stands alone in a vast area of dismal moors and tangled thickets. Stay off the moors. They will probably arrange to leave their horses and possessions either at the nearest village, about 5 miles from the mountain, or hidden in the Dead Knoll's Eye Socket, a small natural cave in the side of a hill about 2 miles from the plume. There really is no other shelter available. The villagers know about the cave and may have mentioned it. If the party leaves no guard, they will just have to trust the villagers not to steal their belongings. Dishonest villagers will have to weigh their fear of White Plume Mountain against the certain belief that the party will never be seen again. And we get to, there's a little bit of geological description of White Plume Mountain and how it created. But this, check this out. This is Errol Otis's art. I would like to have this on a t-shirt. Now, question to you guys. How many of you guys followed up on the map here with all these cool pointers and all this art from Errol? Beyond to the lair of Dragotha, the undead dragon, where fabulous riches and hideous death await. And then over here we have the hut of Thingizard, beware her potions. And then we have the cursed ruins of Castle Mukos, who knows what lies within. The twisted thickets skittering slithers around. Here be dead Noel's eye socket. And that way, of course, leads to town. What's not to love about this, guys? So far, every part of this just says, let's go and have fun with this module. This is the Walt Disney World of AD&D modules. I love it. I don't know why I didn't like this module. This module is glorious. Every part of it is a masterpiece. I have run this module as a corporate event. I've run it as an in-store event. I've run it for friends here at the house. You guys will see this later, but I built the entire inverted ziggurat. You'll know what I mean when we get there if you're not familiar. Luther says, giant crayfish, giant scorpion, sea lions, and manticores within viewing distance of each other in the same room. For those who have not done the module, try to imagine how this was possible. We'll see. So the party has to find their way in, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. But I love everything that Law did to make this module. So you have to go into a steam vent. And it's called just at the Wizard's Mouth. And what it is, steam fills up through small pores, and then cool air rushes in behind it and causes the steam to billow out. And it repeats on a cycle. Because of the moisture, the floor to this cave is covered in muck. Finding an entrance is going to require the party searching through the muck, and then mighty strength rolls to open that door. So you can use 2 strong characters in a knock spell or pass wall, etc. And directly beneath is a 20-foot square vertical shaft and the beginning of a spiral staircase leading down. And I always have a lot of fun, like the characters, they open the door and it's not like rock shelves or anything. It's a metal spiral staircase that clangs as they walk on it and booms as the whole place shudders with a little bit of volcanic activity. And so Law gives us standard dungeon features. See, I can understand why after grabbing this, Gary would have been like, oh no, we're publishing this. I think when if you remember in the 80s, you'd get like demo tapes from bands and stuff like that from tiny record labels. And then later they'd show up as like major releases or attached, like 2 of them stuck together and released as an album. That's kind of what we've got going on here, and I love it. So down the spiral staircase. Now, unlike the Tomb of Horrors, Dungeon Masters, we have wandering monsters to throw at the party. Now, this is not your standard dungeon encounters. This is 1 in 12 check every turn, not 1d6. And at this point, getting into the dungeon, it's knee deep in water. Lukewarm to hot water that the party has to wade through. That's making my toes curdle just thinking about it. Like pucker and wrinkle. So what are our wandering monsters? Now, one thing I want to do is Caraptus created this and likes the fact that the players are in here. So I deem that even slaying these creatures does not take them out. Like if you kill all the bugbears, you'll run into another party of bugbears. I'm just kind of scrolling down a little bit. Okay. I just wanted to make sure there was no further entries on the wandering monsters. But let's look at the wandering monster list. So we've got a black pudding, slurp, slurp. 2 to 5 bugbears. 2 gargoyles. Invisible stalker, which is bad news. 1 to 3 ogres, which potentially worse news. 1 to 2 whites, absolutely terrible news. Then he says, it's funny how detailed the artwork for WotC products is, but I find the classic artwork more appealing. Of course, that's one of the big draws. That's why we're here. Classic artwork, baby. That's part of the appeal for classic D&D for me. And these guys are not going to retreat. You're not going to charm them. They attack immediately. So there's the critter list. And we have standard AD&D stat blocks here for them. Now, I actually had players lose levels because of the whites. The whites were some seriously bad news. So let's see. Sorry, I'm just responding to a message there. Nice piece of artwork by Dave LaForce. Of course, as you can see, the dungeon is flooded. They are fighting whites and hoping they don't get stuck by them. And this absolutely gorgeous piece by Jim Rosloff. I really wish Jim Rosloff was still with us because his art was sumptuous. We'll talk about why it looks like they're staring in wonder at JCPenney's light fixtures from 1977 later on. So the spiral staircase just goes down, and Encounter Area 1 is basically just there as atmosphere. The entire dungeon is booming and shaking periodically. Everything is wet. This staircase, rivets and welds have rusted and loosened somewhat, so the whole affair kind of squeaks and clangs and booms as the party knocks down it. That's really all we're getting set up for in Encounter Area 1. Classic module art inspires the imagination. The new stuff tells you what to think. Exactly so. So Area 2, we meet our first puzzle/monster. A rather mangy, bedraggled Gyna Sphinx squats in the water in the middle of the intersection. The dotted line marks where a wall of force blocks off the corridor. This wall of force is weaker than most and can be brought down by a disintegrate, dispel magic, always 100% effective, or pass wall. The Sphinx will let the party pass by removing the wall of force if they can answer the following riddle. Greetings, Mobius. Now, this is a bit of a trick. Greyhawk has 2 moons, Luna and Selene. But we'll see in a second. So, round as she, yet flat as a board, altar of the lupine lords, jewel on black velvet, pearl in the sea, unchanged but ever-changing eternally. And the answer is the moon. Well, which moon, Law? Luna or Selene? I would accept a moon. Now, if the party hits Dispel Magic and knocks it down before they give their answer, the Gynosphinx will attack, and she, of course, has her various spells and so on and etc. But like all the Guardians, now I've had a party stop because she was obviously once comely. Now she's bedraggled and just squatting in this disgusting warm water, although Gynosphinx is big. She's a big gal. So for her, it's just kind of, up to her, I don't know what, ankles, anyway, wrists. But I've had parties stop and ask her to leave with them, ask her for more help. And it's always a little heartbreaking, because she doesn't know how she ended up there. She has been fully mind wiped and programmed just to sit there and guard the wall of force and let a party by that can guess the riddle, and that's it. Now, I did have a party once get all the items and hit her with the dispel magic strong enough, or was it heal? I don't remember, but they undid the damage done to her, and she was grateful and left. So that's our first encounter. Now let's scroll down and look at the map, because I want to show you guys where this is at. I want you to have a good mental idea. Unfortunately, the map, it's very big. There's a lot of hallway. Which makes laying this out. When it comes to Dwarven Forge, most of what I have is focused on rooms. So laying this out on the table, I have to use every trick in the book to get all the hallways laid out. So and it spans 2 pages. And her encounter is right in the middle. You can go right or left after you talk to her. But let's take a look at her encounter area. So we'll scroll down a bit. So the party comes in here. Here is the spiral staircase. I don't know if you can see my cursor on screen there. And then around to area 2. Area 2 right here. There, I kind of highlighted it for you. Area 2 is where you meet the Gynosphinx, and her wall is, of course, that dotted line there. So she asks you the question, and then she'll drop it. So let's go right and explore further White Plume Mountain. So the next area, and this is pretty sinister. Well done to Lawshek on this. A large patch of green slime attacks by dissolving into green slime all flesh it comes into contact with. Within 1 to 4 rounds, can be killed by fire, cold, cure disease. Covers the floor in the indicated area. As it is totally covered by water, it is not easily detectable, and characters may walk through it and not even notice they've done so until it has eaten through their boots and started on their feet. Now, I personally think that it would hurt like a son of a bitch to be eaten / converted into green slime. That it would sting, that it would burn. The usual flask of oil method won't work here, as the flaming oil will just float in water. A fireball will probably wipe the slime out. Of course, your party would have to be very careful about its casting. So that's area 3. It's kind of It's kind of a trap. It's kind of a creature encounter. Now, if you're wondering about XP, I would definitely, for any encounters, random encounters, or fixed encounters, I did, as DM, give my players the monster manual or per dungeon master's correct amount of experience points. Oh, and I need to do something here real quick. Let me see. Wonder how many parties tried to be engineers to clear the dungeon of water. That's a good question, Tonka. There's a way to do it. There is a way to do it, which we'll look at the appropriate time. Let me see here. So, yes. So we're going by encounter areas, and this is one of the more interesting ones. In the dungeon. Now, let me just say, having run a party of average 7th level, 7/8th level through this module, you really want to hew to the bottom end of 7th level, because an 8th, 9th level party, there are parts of this they'll cakewalk. Hello, Chris. Good to see you. There are parts of this module that they will be able to cakewalk. And you don't want that. You want it to be a fun challenge. Otherwise, it's just kind of tedious. Like, you play an Elder Scrolls game, right? And you beat all the main quest stuff, and then you go talk to the farmer, and he's like, oh, my daughter disappeared 2 days ago. And it's like, you go to the cave and you kill the one goblin, and you do the escort quest to get her back and get 10 gold. And you're just like, oh. That's what can happen if you throw too high a level party at this. The area 4. Let's jump straight to area 4. Because we looked at the green slime. We've talked to the poor bedraggled Gynosphinx. Let us look at area 4. Going up the hall and turning right, we come to this chamber. Stop. And area 4 is the first real mind bottler. So let's look at what it is. Might even wrap up on area 4 tonight, but we'll see. I won't rush it. The door to this room appears as normal. That is a large iron-bound oak door swollen by the dampness and difficult to open. However, when the party has entered the room, or as much of the party as is going in, it will slam shut behind them. No spike, hold portal, knock, or pass wall will open the door or keep it open. Only the proper key turned in a keyhole on the inside of the door will unlock its magic. In the room, suspended from the ceiling by unbreakable wires at the points indicated, are 9 silvered glass globes. That's right. It's a dungeon disco. The globes are each about 2 feet in diameter, and an inspection with X-ray vision or clairvoyance will show that each contains some apparent treasure and a key. Aha! A good hard crack with a weapon will shatter any of them, dropping the contents, if not caught, into the muck below. Starting in the northwest corner of the room, number the globes for your own reference, 1 through 9. This way you will know which globes on the following list the players are smashing, if any. And there's interesting stuff in each. Their kicks were fast as lightning, Vincent. So we have 3 folded up shadows, which I love. Just the idea that Caraptus was casting some custom spell to fold these things and then force them into the glass globe. They're going to be cranky. 300 worthless lead pieces and a false key. A potion of silver dragon control and a false key. Jewelry worth 12,000 gold pieces, a false key, and an angry air elemental. Transparent to clairvoyance or X-ray vision. A ring of flying with 4 charges and a false key. That thing can be very important. Phony glass jewelry, a false stone key, and a gray ooze. Can be killed only by lightning or physical blows. Fills entire globe, and this is indistinguishable by clairvoyance or X-ray vision. A wand of paralyzation with 1 charge and a false key. The real key and a ring. Now, this is a bastard of an encounter, and my good buddy Rusty Schaefer loves this encounter. He has a story about a party almost coming to blows over this ring. So let me read this to you. This is as clever as anything in S1, and I salute Lawshik for coming up with this. The real key and a ring. Upon release, the ring speaks to the entire party telepathically. Stop before you pick me up. I confer the following powers upon my wearer. Invisibility, haste, 8 charges. I act as a ring of protection +1. Confer 100% protection from charm. Flying once per day. Spell turning 10 charges. Treasure finding 6 charges and 1 wish. The only drawback is that I eat 1 hit point per year permanently, but I must be put on before leaving the room, as I must be warned for me to leave. However, once I am removed from the finger, all my powers are lost. So you must decide right now who will wear me permanently. This is a basic loyalty and intelligence test. Will the party members cut each other's throats over the ring? Of course, if they take the time to think about it, they'll realize that the ring must actually be a diversion. It will seem to have all of the powers mentioned above as long as it remains in the room. Once outside, it has no powers and can't even talk. In number 9, gems worth 600 gold pieces and a false key. That's just mean. That's just mean. A party would spend a long time debating, and you could keep sending random encounters. I had half the party in the room and half the party outside the room, and the half the party outside the room in one run through, they had to deal with a lot of random encounters while the party debated on what to do about the ring. It was actually kind of amusing. So I'm rather fond of that dirty little trick. But as you see, there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. Now, one thing is it mentions, it is genius, Todd. If the party thinks about it, they'll know the ring can't know what a hit point is. I mean, that's a perfectly valid point. They could, depending on what the DM says or does, you know, they could make it a point to ask the DM. They could try a little, you know, a little augury or something like that to find out if the ring is lying. But that is a very good point, Jack. Jack, you're a genius. So a lot of little interesting bits. So yeah, I had a party half trapped in, half out. But there is a good reward. Jewelry worth 12,000 gold pieces, but then they got to fight the angry air elemental to get that. Look up air elementals in the monster manual. They're bad news. The ring would use another word like life essence or something. And there's a lovely piece. This is not a good scan, but there's a nice piece by Errol Otis there on the right-hand side of that page. But that is what that illustration we saw earlier. Let me see if I can just page up. That is what that illustration comes from. This lovely young thing here is probably hearing the ring speak to her. Oh. And that's where we're going to leave it for now. So we're up to room 4. And again, there may be some that I skip. There may be some that I kind of gloss over. I'm not going to read through every encounter of this. It's not a huge module. But at the same time, I'm sure you guys don't just want to hear me just read every encounter. But we'll come back to that bad boy on... Let's see. I believe... I'll have to double check. I believe Kyle is here tomorrow, and he's not here next week. But if he's not here tomorrow, we'll do a deeper dive. But if he is, Thursday, we'll do our deeper dive into the module. Come on, to add 5 more minutes. I got to thank the nice people. I have to thank the nice people. Good thing there's adventuring to do. That's right. So let's just whoop, and there I am back. I hope you players in the green room have noticed I am wearing the appropriate dungeon mastering mufti. Mufti is older style. I think it's from the Victorian era, perhaps older, formal wear. Anyway, I want to take a minute before we get on down the road to playing AD&D to thank some folks who really go that extra mile for the show. I love you all. Don't misunderstand me. But I think these folks, we can take a minute to thank these folks. So let me just say thank you to Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damian X247, James F. Keck, William Smith, the Dungeon Minister, Manny Wall. Need to see you again around these parts, Manny. Miss you, bud. Mark Corey, Kevin Wood, Todd Sharp, the increasingly frighteningly nicknamed Carnivore Farmer. Rob knows I can't say that, Chillis. Jeremy Rule, Boganora, Mikey Mank, the Sky Hernstrom, Pete Sullivan, and John David. We thank all of you guys for helping out around here. And if you want to join that particular role of people and contribute a little to the show, you can hit us up on Patreon. You can hit us up on Subscribestar. I'll just leave those scrolling across the bottom of the screen in case you decide you want to do that. And of course, we're always open for the occasional super chat. But just the fact that you guys are here watching the videos and having a good time, that makes me happy. You're loving the shirt. Thank you very much. We have not gotten, well, Jack, there's a couple of interpretations of what you mean by slippery hallway, but we'll get there when we get there. And get rid of that. And I got one more person. I gotta do my invite here. Let me see here. I had to message one of my other players, and oh, there he is. He snuck in. He snuck in. So let me activate the transporter and beam up our group of adventurers. I wish I could wear my wizard hat and my studio headphones at the same time, but you know. I think I am sitting on my cord. Half a second, guys. Yes. And while I do that, despite the fact that the sun has gone down, the temperature has gone up back here. I'm going to adjust my fan real quick, and then we're going We're going to bring our friends in. Is it? No, still not pointing at me. Use a stapler, it'll stay on. Yeah. All right, there we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our adventuring party. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you all?
Hello.
Doing good, doing good.
Just as half dead as any other day.
Excellent.
That's why we have coffee.
I was going to say that's why we have Scrolls of Resurrection, but that works too.
Yes.
Rod.
Well, the rod's kind of defunct. I think we need to upgrade. We can bring
There's
back
charge
one minion.
left. Yes.
If he
Just take
dies,
a second,
Alrighty.
like
I'm
that.
not feeling tired anymore.
Alrighty, adventurers, what are your plans? You have made it out of Castle Greyhawk. You have returned to your encampment after a close encounter with a gray ooze there that tried to consume. Who was that? Was that Lynx that got turned into pudding?
Nice gray soupy pudding. Yeah.
Yes, yes. It's very exfoliating.
I saw how
So
the
now-
sausage was made, and I was the sausage. It was eye-opening.
Exactly. Mainly because your eyelids were dissolved away.
That was the first part. Yeah. It was
Yes.
painful.
Do you think Lynx would remember that, or do you think your brain would block it out?
That's a good philosophical question. I don't have an answer for. I'll leave it up to the individual players whether or not they want to suffer from post-traumatic pudding disorder.
I know Lynx is drinking a lot. How about that?
So, what do you say we piece ourselves back together? I can do a round of curing after I rest for 4 hours, and we mosey on back down the road.
To the Fortress of Doom, or
Yes.
to...
We have no loot. There's no point in trying to level. We kind of have to keep going, unless we want to try and sell the rod with one charge.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought we ended on resurrecting me, and then we were going to go sell some treasure, and we do have some gold.
Well, what do you say, guys? I am the outlier in this group. So,
Here,
Also now kicked out of the group.
so what do we think?
I think going to get some actual loot might be useful. So
You're
Trying-
right, though. We were thinking about oil and holy water. I know that.
Yeah.
But what about actual loot? Sorry, I cut you off, Mark.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to agree. I know we're low on everything, and the next time we go in just might be our last with how resource poor we are.
every time we go in could be our last. So
It was my last, technically, last time. We just had a magic rod.
I'm willing to go in one more time, but I have no more oil to throw. So that was one thing Abner could usefully do.
What does the thief think?
Yeah, I think I do whatever you guys want me to do.
Okay, I have a proposition for the DM then.
All right.
Let's zip back to Greyhawk, buy like 3 things, have it take as little game time as possible, zip back here, roll for random encounters, pray we don't get anything, and try and enter the dungeon in the next 10 minutes. Does that sound good?
I got another idea. We could just go back to the inn that's close by.
But they don't sell holy water And she only sells like 4 pints of oil at a time.
Yeah, then we need to go back.
So we may as well, as opposed to taking 1 day to get to the inn, we can just take 2 days to get to Greyhawk and call it good.
Yeah, I think we need to go back to Greyhawk.
Mhm.
I think I've opened every session with, we should go back to Greyhawk, and then we don't.
Well, I mean, if you're asking me, the DM, I'll follow along with whatever you guys want to do. I mean, once you're out of the dungeon, you
I'm
can
just
pick a direction and go.
I'm just stating party intention. Like
Yeah.
our intent, I think, is to go back to the city of Greyhawk. The whole team caller thing. Let's go back to the city of Greyhawk and just buy a few things and run back.
Yeah.
Nothing big.
Purchase arrows, oil, holy water.
You need arrows?
We're out of arrows too.
Really?
Yeah, I'll need arrows.
I have like 24.
I use like a dozen per battle.
Yeah.
And you miss with most of them.
He is a man unafraid to employ the bow.
Yeah, you know, my combat matrix doesn't go up till level 5. If you get some more treasure, then I'll get there a little bit more quickly.
Let's go back to City Greyhawk. Quick shopping. Come back.
Agreed. All right, let's go. Everybody,
Okay,
in the cart, everybody going.
Shopping montage in Greyhawk. And Bajibus and Valoric are amenable to this and will accompany you, of course. Oops.
Quick question, party, because I'm a terrible person. How much is a flask of oil? I'm just gathering my shopping
Hold on.
list. And I don't have my Dungeon Master screen open yet.
Flask of oil. 1 gold piece.
Thank you.
Holy water.
Whoever is in charge of the party treasury, I'm going to need 127 gold pieces.
I can give it to you if nobody has any objections. I don't think anybody would.
I have 0 gold.
All right, so minus 127 gold for oil, I'm assuming, or are you buying everything with that?
6 flasks of oil, 4 flasks of holy water, and a bottle of whiskey.
How much do you need to make that 2 bottles of whiskey?
That's up to the DM. Holy water is 25 gold a vial, I think. I'm double checking that now.
25 for holy water, yes.
Yes. And
Do we have a lantern or just torches?
We have torches.
Okay.
We still have a bunch of those, so we should be good.
How many?
15.
Oh, not
Yeah.
plenty. Put me down for 12 flasks of oil carrying between my 2 henchmen, so that's 12 more gold.
Got it.
the whiskey, I'm assuming, wouldn't be too expensive. I'm hoping no more than a gold piece a bottle, but we'll see.
A pint is the same as a pint of ale. It's a silver piece.
It's a silver piece. Cool. So,
Better stock up.
well,
Yeah, it's cool if you like swill.
I'm buying a whole handle, so I don't drink it by the pint. And if I can't both wash my floors with it and wash my insides with it, it don't count.
It's also an engine degreaser, body wash.
Shampoo, boat paint stripper, aircraft hydraulic fluid.
Chrome
Maybe we
polisher.
could just use that whiskey both as the holy water and the oil as well. Just get a whole lot of that.
That would be unholy water unless you're from Kentucky.
Or Ireland.
It has to
Boy,
be a
it's
pot
the
still then.
poutine. What else are we grabbing, guys?
Notes of peat and engine detergent.
I need a bunch of arrows.
So it looks like a dozen is a gold. Let's just get like
Yeah, like I would say like 8 dozen would be perfect.
okay. Let's get 12 just in case.
Thank you.
I'm picturing the conversation towards the end of what is it, Coming to America? Do you think 750,000 is enough? Why not make it 1 million? You are right. So the arrow purchase is there. Okay.
I'm going to use the remainder of my miscellaneous coinage to buy rations, etc.
Okay, I'll leave it up to you to add that to your sheet, or
That's fine. It leaves me with like 4 silver pieces left.
okay.
Unless you want it back.
No. Go ahead. Man, these are in weeks.
Yes, and speaking of weeks, don't forget to mark off use of rations and other mundane items.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We have 11 people in our party total.
Something like
About
that.
4.
Well, I'm 1.
Yep. But you
I
need
don't
for
know
5.
about the rest of them. As long as
4,
you keep me
5,
fed, I'll be happy.
6, 7, 9, I think.
Oh, I was way off. Okay.
You're only off by 2.
We only have 2. Well, I have 2 hireling, 2 mercenaries, and a valet. We only have Leo and Nurm, right? Or there
Yes, so that's 5.
Yeah.
And then the 5 of us is 10.
Okay.
Oh, so
Actually, yeah.
I miscounted them.
Whoa,
and
wait,
All right,
6 of us.
Oh, and
there is
and
11.
Valoric and Betibus. Forgot about them.
Sorry, I was counting them as one being.
Well, then we'll just spend like 120 gold on the regular iron rations then.
Sounds good.
And that'll be
Nice.
plenty. All right, and then
Thank you.
I don't. Yeah, sure. And then I don't think we need anything else unless I'm forgetting something.
Nope.
Besides more meat.
Unless
sheets,
y'all, do we have, how much cash do we have to spare?
it's like 1,500 almost GP, and then we have a bunch of EP, SP. And that kind of stuff.
If you want, I could see if I can get my hands on a potion or 3.
Sure, go ahead. We got 1,502 gold plus miscellaneous EP
So,
and
yeah.
SP left.
I guess while y'all are doing your miscellaneous shopping, I'll head over to the local cloister and see if I can acquire any potions,
Sure.
preferably of the healing variety, DM.
So I'm sorry, I was answering a question. Someone did ask this, and I do want to address this on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Someone asked, why can't the cleric make some holy water for the group? That's actually a thing in first edition AD&D that can be done. But it does require a bless spell, properly consecrated crystal vials, and so on and et cetera. It's not just like, hey, bartender, fill me up with your least dirty well water. I'm bop. Okay, we got holy water. No, it takes a little bit more than just a hocus pocus. So I'm sorry, what was your question there?
You're good. While they are finishing up the last of their shopping for the day, since I'm just plugging in an order basically and saying, hey, while you're going shopping, I need to pick up these things. And I have to go pick up holy water from the cloister anyway. So while I'm there, can I see if they have any potions that they can part with for a lay brother helping the poor, that kind of thing?
They do not currently have any potions of healing.
Do they have potions of another variety?
No.
Okay.
There are alchemists that are friendly to the church that you can hire. But as far as anything within the parish church itself, no.
Okay. Can they point me to one of those alchemists then?
Of course. They're humans.
That's fine. Are there any of them that look like a college student, fresh out, actually need the help?
No, they're at their youngest, they're middle-aged old men.
Well, damn.
With
Act like college students.
some of them do, yes. Wow, man, you need me to make you what? You need healing potions? I got a whole sheet of them, bro. No, they. Let's see. Let's look this up, and as we do like to, explain things.
I'll take 2 sheets of your finest sedative and four vials of please don't kill me now. Thank you.
As we do like to explain things. So, hiring an alchemist for a month will set you back 300 gold pieces. And you will have to provide him with alembics, pipettes, lab equipment, essentially. And depending on what you are after, as far as potions, he may need ingredients. If you want a potion of longevity. Yeah, he's not just going to be able to scrape that off the ceiling.
Give me an estimate of what he needs.
Okay, so there's the 300 outlay. Let me see here.
And then there's startup cost, which is presumable.
And yes, there's startup costs. And at that point, given a few weeks, he can concoct most potions. Now, if you're looking for something like healing, that's Troll's blood, Ogre Magi blood, a thread of a saint's garment, Sylph's hair is good for that. Flying would be any kind of flying creature's blood is a good start.
Almighty AD&D alchemist here. Focus in. We want one thing. We want healing potions. Fuck everything else. Focus.
Then bring me some Troll's blood.
What do you need?
Bring me Troll's blood or Ogre Magi blood. And I'm sorry, what?
What do you need to buy it?
I don't think that's just at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, no. You need a very approachable troll who's willing to part with some of his blood willingly, or you just kill him outright and bring me bottles of the stuff.
In theory, you just bring me a troll in a cage.
I would prefer you not bring me a troll in a cage. Please don't bring me a troll in a cage.
There's an extra fee if he has to extract the blood.
It solved the problem. Well,
it would create more than it would solve, my friend.
Well,
but
then the alchemist is of absolutely no use. And having wished he could have saved the past probably hour and a half of useless conversation, he will say he will come back when he has needed ingredients.
Okay. Well, alrighty then. So you are, let's see, what is Lynx doing in the city of Greyhawk?
After I guess finish handing out the money and purchasing what I have, I'm getting drunk because I died. I don't want to remember.
Yeah, Fortunately, you don't. What is Lynx's alignment again?
Neutral good.
Okay, so as you've cleaved to your alignment, or at least think you have it, the dying part hurt. The afterlife part you don't remember, but you hope it was at least worth it. Tonka Todd says, "How much is a potion of protection from pudding?" Lynx is just sitting there in the bar, carving into the top of the bar. This is Bill Cosby's last night on Earth. Anyway, so let's see.
Make
Did
that
we
joke
kill that
again, and it might
ooze?
be Bill Sylvie's last night on Earth.
Okay, Turgo, what are you doing in the city of Greyhawk?
I don't have anything in particular, being that Lynx is handling all my accounting work for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Sir Outlier's pissing off every alchemist and apothecary in the city. I'm just going to try to stay out of trouble.
Alrighty.
I assume I'll hang out somewhere near where Lynx is, which is what I typically do, being that we arrived in the adventure together. Keep an eye out for him. Grab some coins wherever I'm at.
He's drinking, but a lot less than me.
Exactly. That perfect translation.
So Mark, what is Abner getting up to?
Does he know of any, I guess, curiosity shops type places in Greyhawk that might be interested in such things as these strange pamphlets that he's been collecting? But by the way, now that we're outside this castle, are these pamphlets still pamphlets, or do they revert to just like plain paper or something stupid like that? So,
Oh no,
crafty like that.
They're still printed on, still mocking you.
Mocking me. So, because I took a good collection of a few of them, the Get a Good Night's Sleep at Castle Greyhawk, You May Never Wake Up, and the warning about Lynx dying from putting that's a warning sign. I have a stack of those. So, does Abner know of, or maybe he starts this process of finding people that might be interested in purchasing this sort of curiosity?
Well, as you are going about your business there, you're just sort of going from shop to shop. Some people think it's funny. Some folks think that it is crass. You haven't found any particular one. A woman in a black and red dress, which is far too exposing considering that it is still early spring and a bit cold, although she does have a fur collar on, sees the paper in your hands and approaches you and says, "Oi, what's that? Are you a scholar? Are you a student? Do you have dirty pictures you're trying to show people?"
Not dirty, but here's one of and I show her the Adopt a Wolf campaign from Castle Greyhawk with the nice dog on.
She laughs at that and says, "Do you have any dirty ones you'd like to show me?" In private, lewd wink.
I am not interested in these crass things of the flesh. I'm more interested in cerebral activities. Thank you very much.
Well, all right. Goes on about her way.
You hear a voice in the background yelling, "Play chess with her then!"
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
I guess nobody saw his valet.
Yeah, valet probably left.
If anything says not a man not interested in fun, it's having a valet.
Hey, gotta be well dressed.
She wanted you to bring her up and look at some etchings, but I guess you weren't game. All right. So other than that, nothing interesting happens. You find a bookseller. Actually, I can't remember if your character's met. There is a tall, strong fellow, dark clothes, close-cropped beard. It and his mustache are black, broad-brimmed hat, and he's talking to the bookseller, and they're having a chortle over something. And you bring in the documents, and the fellow is watching you flip through them, and he says, "I'll give you an electrum for the stack, Governor."
That's all? Now, this is worth more. This is not easy to get. These are from dangerous location. Castle Greyhawk.
The tall, dark fellow arches an eyebrow and says, "Castle Greyhawk, you've been?"
Yes, quite a number of times. I keep picking these up as I go through the office.
Really?
Yes.
He looks at the bookseller and says, "You're a scoundrel and a thief, Timbo." And he fishes into a side purse and walks 2 platinum pieces up and down his knuckles and says, "I'll take the stack of them."
Very well.
No?
Give them the two stacks of the ones I have multiple copies of. These are my personal collection. I'm collecting one of each. But
Of course.
these two. Would you be interested in more when I come back again?
Well, you say you're going to Castle Greyhawk. Yes?
Yes.
Well, as it happens, I'm always looking for interesting bits of information about the castle. Robilar is the name. He extends his hand.
Abner probably knows the name.
Oh yeah, Robilar is a known fellow in the city of Greyhawk and its environs. I'm late of a little plundering myself.
It's fabulous to meet you. You're such a famous person.
He sketches a sardonic bow.
What would you like from the castle?
What do you got other than these little amusements?
We are collecting information about the caverns underneath it and their occupants. Well, the ones we let stay.
I see.
The contents of the towers and other such things.
Come, let us get a mug of mulled wine together, you and I, shall we? He
Sounds great.
claps a arm around your shoulder, and you can tell just like it's like getting whacked across the shoulders by a wooden beam. This guy is strong.
And Abner is not, so he's like, ow.
All right. He pats you a little bit more gently and guides you to the Green Dragon Inn.
Fancy.
Walks straight to a table, doesn't wait for the barmaid, just sits down and waves, just waves. And a few minutes later, she brings over a pitcher and 2 goblets and says, when I was a younger man and I could be bothered to take expeditions into Castle Greyhawk myself, I could tell you some stories, lad. I could tell you of speaking faces on the wall. I could tell you of rooms of fabulous jewels and treasures that you would never leave because you would never find the exit. But old Robilar knows his way around those dungeons. There are caves as vast as all outdoors. Living jungles inside caverns. Undead things that would freeze your stones off. Old Robilar has seen a trick or two in Castle Greyhawk. But I have my irons in other fires. But I do like the occasional scrap of doggerel or bit of news or bauble or artifact when I can lay my hands on it. I am pulled in just too many places. It's the result of proper investing of the profits I've made adventuring.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't catch your name, my good fellow.
Abner.
Abner. Good to meet you, Abner. And this mulled wine is excellent, by the way. It's like cinnamon, sugar, orange rind, berries. It's just to die for. Anyway, he mulls this for a second and says, I tell you what, Abner, you don't go in there by yourself, do you?
No, there are some people that I take with me.
Ah, good. Always good to have a retinue. Remember, you don't have to run faster than a dragon. You just have to run faster than your friends.
Exactly.
Well, Abner, you bring me anything that catches your fancy, anything that you think might be worthy of a discussion and a sit down over another mug of wine. I'm certainly willing to pay, and, well, Castle Greyhawk is not for the meek of heart or the weak of constitution. I'll make it worth your while. I'm not seeking anything specific, but the Dwemer that old Zagig laid over that place so long ago can cause it to change like the very tides itself. One day you're absolutely certain that a great gallery leads you straight forward, and the next time you visit, it's a thin crack in the wall that is suspiciously just your size.
Horrifying.
So here is where you can find me, usually in the city of Greyhawk, or you can leave a missive with the barkeep, and I'll come and find you.
Well, that's very good. If we do find curiosities, we'll definitely come to you first.
Spoken like a seasoned adventurer and a true gentleman. To your health.
Ching. Ching, ching.
All right. Meanwhile, Lynx and Turgo, you're having a fine evening drinking away. Lynx a bit more so. Kyle, you go to the Dancing Werebear. There's Lynx and Turgo, and it's right about then, after you've discussed your ongoing commission, as it were, from Robilar, that you enter, and right after you come in, both Valoric and Bajibas walk in. So you're all there at the table. Your hired men are sitting at a table nearby, and woman. And it's
face down on that table. But
I let you all know that a certain Robilar, which I say with sort of a awe and like, ooh, Robilar, is interested in curiosities from the castle. And he might pay coin for it. He paid for a stack of these pamphlets. Just for future reference.
Didn't you have a scroll case that we're selling?
Nope.
Okay. I thought we had a scroll case of some kind.
We had a scroll case that contained the rod.
Oh.
And a piece of paper that basically said how to use the rod to resurrect someone we don't want to resurrect.
So, I guess I'll inform the party of the good news, bad news, depending on how you want to see it, as far as the alchemists go. But so it's
good thing I didn't hand you any money.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wouldn't it?
At least Abner found somebody we can rob.
Fair.
Turgo,
Good luck.
From what I understand of him, you may not want to
Turgo.
rob him.
I guess I'll just have to rob you instead.
No.
Good luck.
It's perfect, guys. His name's even Rob.
All right. Part of the way through the evening, Valoric and Bejeebus address the party, and they say, "Fellows, I know we've been through a lot together, but well, Valoric has recently been approached by his church. They have need of him away in Furiondi, and well, he and I have traveled together for a while, and I was thinking I might escort him on that journey. Now, we don't expect anything except a fair share for travel, and very sorry to leave you in the lurch, but this is kind of an important matter that we have to tend to." Damien says, "I must go. My planet needs me." I hope you can understand.
Well, gents, it looks like we're down a cleric.
Yeah, is he trying to get us to pay him to leave? That's what it sounded like.
No, just basically taking whatever he had gotten in recent shares.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more shares when he's not here anymore.
The DM's explanation of him saying, yeah, the loot that he got up to this point previously, he's keeping, but he's not asking for more. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I want 500 gold pieces to shove off. That's not what he's asking for. He's basically saying, yeah, we're gonna cut and run, but we're not gonna ask for anything extra.
And then he's not gonna give us anything either.
Well, what do you need? We realize this is very sudden, and we're an adventuring, we are soon to be split adventuring group, and I think that they can they can definitely try and give something back for the trouble, for the sudden departure.
You know how to make holy water?
Alas, brother, I have no holy font to call my own, so no.
Well, I'm sorry to see you both go. I think you should tell us where you're going so we can look you up just in case. If we ever had need of you guys again.
We are traveling to the great kingdom of Aerdi in the east.
Oh, well, I had figured that if Valoric is the priest, he's going to like a specific church or something.
Yes.
Oh, I was just, why don't you give that to us, friend, and we'll stop by it eventually. When we're rich,
Very well.
We'll flash off our plane.
Okay. All right. Bidding you adieu, they depart. Their ship leaves to sail down the Celantan and on around the coast, at least to Furiondi. So,
well, Godspeed. Let's go back to the castle and die and watch him outlive all of us.
Yeah, they were the smart ones.
And not going to the Great Kingdom.
Are you kidding? They're getting on a boat. Ask me about Monday night's adventure. Encounter after encounter after encounter.
Getting on.
Yeah, it's probably some kind of barge too, or something like that.
And this is advice to all adventurers. Getting advice, getting on a boat is always bad news. It will always it will guarantee water-based random encounters. Guaranteed.
It can happen.
Shall we go after scraping links off the bar and putting them into a bed? The next day, shall we go back to Castle Greyhawk?
Yep.
Sounds good. The only other thing is I have a magic sword that I only kind of know what it does. I think we were supposed to go to a sage of some kind. Because I don't know what plus it has. I just know that it counts gold.
Well, Abner's best friend is Robilar. He may as well go take it down.
If you want to sell it, I'm sure Robilar will take it.
Yeah, I don't want to sell it.
He must know everything, though.
There are other sages in Castle Greyhawk. In Greyhawk City.
Let's find another one.
And another one.
Abner would probably know where they are. I can blindly stumble hungover behind you on the way there.
You'll carry the sword. He'll carry you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll carry him carrying you. It'll be fine.
Bill, I'm just assuming that this is the thing to do. We could go to a sage to get it effectively identified, or is that something that
at this point, yes, you will have to take it to a sage to get it identified.
Okay. It may cost hundreds of gold pieces to do. Just so you know. Thanks.
Probably like 500's that limit of when it would be worth it. Do you think it'd be more than that?
We'd have to ask the sage. But let's go. Let's go find. I get the yellow pages. Look up sages. Pick the first one. AAA sages. So.
Aardvark sage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aarakocra sage. Attached sage.
Oh God, an Aarakocra sage, it just screeches and pecks at you constantly.
I don't have more bird seed.
Hello, I need the biggest seed bell you have. No,
that
that's
smell?
too big. All right, so yeah, I mean it's Greyhawk. There is near the Collegium Magica. There is a street that has at least a few sages you can hire on it.
We're looking for
The cheap one.
short. You don't want a budget sage. No, you don't want a cheap knockoff sage. Basically, short term. Just need to ask a question. Effectively, can someone identify this sword? Tell us of its properties.
Okay, he turns it over in his hand. Let's see, this sage you are consulting. Let's see. So yeah, he can let's see. So that's an historical piece that you bring me. Yes, let me see that flatchet there, young man.
Thanks. Hand it over.
All right. He holds it aloft and looks at it. A moment, please. He prepares some kind of infusion, drinks it, waves his hand, mutters a spell, and as he's doing this, holding the sword in one hand and concentrating, he pulls a book down, puts it on a stand, and starts leafing through it. And you can see there's illustrations of swords and blocks of text next to every one, and this thing is thick. Okay. Outlier, you're just like, a book that's all about the history of weapons. It's beautiful.
It's like the polearm appendix, but bigger. It's
Yes. And it seems it seems like each page is the history of a specific sword or weapon.
just look up at
And again, this thing is like a foot thick.
I have several books like that in boxes behind me.
I believe that you do.
So TK is a sage.
Sure.
Hey, I got one of those big Webster dictionaries too. He's not special.
I've got Google, man. I have the sage's sage. Okay, I have the machine of Lum. I have the machine of Lum the Mad, basically. So yeah, he consults this and then flops down in a chair, exhausted, and says, "That will be 350 gold pieces, please."
Links.
I am happy to pay such a good price for that. Then
Okay, because I am not a terribly imaginative GM all the time, basically he tells you that it is the flatchet of the captain's spurs, and it is a weapon of puissant skill that extends the hand of its owner as though it were a sharp implement itself. Its balance is par excellence, unsurpassed in the common year 300, and was made by Thranzar, the elf sage blacksmith of the Vesive, for wars against the dreaded witch queen herself, until she was cast down and the lands freed, and it is a +2 longsword.
Did you get all that down, Links? About the
Yes.
witch queen? Okay.
I did.
Maybe a test later.
Thranazor, elf sage. Yeah, wow.
+2 longsword of bean counting.
Yeah.
Okay. So he weighs the bag in his hand and passes his hand over it, mutters something, and it vanishes. And he says, "Is there anything else you'd like to ask me?"
Not at this time. But what's the sage's name? I'll come back. Now that we have a sage.
The sage's name is Carl.
Awesome. Good name.
Carl the Sage.
Carl the Sage.
Yes.
And then I have that it was an intelligent weapon, neutral. Just from the first time that I picked it up. Was that still true?
Yes. It has no special abilities, though.
Okay, got it.
And it does have a slight intellect to it, but unless you get absolutely schwacked, it's not going to try and take you over and steer you out of the dungeon.
Awesome, cool. Well, thank you so much, honored Carl.
Excellent.
Do we think if we brought Lynx back as a zombie, the sword could puppet him?
No, you do not think that.
Damn.
No, I should say your characters are welcome to think what they want.
Lynx
Your
would like that to not happen if you suggest that, but he will refrain from putting his +2 sword through your chest.
I was going to suggest that you actually do that.
It's our new resurrection strategy. It'll be fine. Just don't die.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of the resurrection rod.
He's down to -4. We're comatose. We're in the dungeon. Get the rod of resurrection and bring me the +2 sword. No, trust me. This is going to be awesome.
It'll be fine.
Watch this.
Okay. So speaking of the rod of resurrection, had you guys wanted to sell? I'm not trying to put thoughts in your mouths. There was something said about parting with it. I just wanted to know before any additional.
Oh,
Yeah,
it had a case, and I got confused with that being something separate. But otherwise, I'm cool if I keep it.
Yeah, I mean, it can't even. It doesn't even have enough charges for any of us, does it? It'd bring back a henchman or something, was my understanding.
Still might be useful though.
Yeah, but we could buy another henchman for a lot less than we could sell that for. These henchmen are like a dime a dozen.
And that's why you're chief financial officer.
For once, I agree with the elf.
Just don't tell the henchman.
No. I can't use it, so.
Neither can I. And that other cleric hit the road. He was a cleric, right? Like a half cleric or something.
He was cleric.
How much can we sell it for?
Sir Outlier could use it.
Maybe Robilar like it. Robilar.
I mean, it is a rod of resurrection, and that in and of itself does hold a certain power. You would have to ask around. There are a few shops here in Greyhawk that do deal with magic items, or you could put the word out that you have a stick of bringing people back from the dead. But if you don't sell it, I need to know who is staying in possession of it.
You know what? Actually, are you guys trusting me with it? Since I'm the only one that can use
Could
it?
if you didn't ask that way.
Yeah, what are you going to get?
We were gonna, but not now.
Well, hear me out. Hear me out. I need to make a tithe to my church. My church doesn't currently have healing potions. However, if we graciously donate this rod to my church, they might be so inclined as to make us healing potions and provide us with all the holy water we could need for a little while.
Or they might say, thanks for the tithe. Now beat it.
Not above just giving it to you to tithe, though, either.
Oh, I wouldn't. I would propose it less of a tithe and more of a trade. It's more of a tithe with an understanding. This is what the church does. I do want to come on Bill's show one day and give a very, very long spiel about how the Catholic Church operated and how we can use that for D&D. But that's another story. I love how you're just like, no. It's like, yes, history lesson.
That's not going to happen.
It'll be fun. Help DMs everything.
No, go hit up the history guy. I'm sure he'd love to have do a collab with you. He's got a great YouTube channel.
Abner's willing to, he can't use this.
Yeah,
we sell it for party cash, or Charlotte, I do like your idea of maybe your church would, do something in trade with it. You said they don't have.
Look, there ain't no levels happening around here, okay? Because there's no money.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Just give it to your church. If we get something out of it, good. But otherwise, it's already at the point where we can't use it, and I fear getting the money's worth out of it by selling it. It's going to mean we stay here for 2 more days trying to get a buyer.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I guess we'll round out today with I'll carry it back to my church and see if anybody's interested in making a financial arrangement.
Okay, when you explain what the rod is to them, they have you sit and wait. Does anyone accompany him, or do you just go by yourself there, TK?
I ain't going.
I'm going to have Abner. I'm going to drag Abner with me.
Okay.
I figure he'll want to hear it.
You better look out for our financial interests, Abner, or you're not welcome back in this group.
I'll let you know what happens.
Thank you.
Okay. You going in the day or in the evening?
At this point, it's probably late afternoon by the time we've done everything.
Okay. Let's see. We'll call it. We'll still call it daytime, late evening, daytime. Other than a good wife who is leaving the church and after confession or prayers or something like that, you don't really encounter anyone of interest. She, of course, is accompanied by a handmaiden, an attendant. Smiles, nods, but goes on her way. And unless you want to interact with her, she goes on about her business. So let's see.
Also, I was sat down by someone then, presumably to wait.
When you come in and you say, "Hey, I've got a stick of undeath," of course, they call in a church-approved magus who casts Identify, and wields the rod, concentrates on it, sits down, is brought some fortified wine to bolster his constitution, and he says, "It is, as this dwarf says, it is a rod of resurrection, and it possesses upon it enough charges to bring at least one back from beyond the veil." He does not a wig.
Abner also offers the case and the paper with the Tamaskar's instructions. As it goes along with the rest of it, like it's part of the package.
Yeah, that actually he arches an eyebrow at that. Do you tell him about the nature of it, or just say, "Here, it came with all this"?
Abner points all to this and said, "We did not follow the instructions because it seemed like an evil creature."
Oh, I see. Probably for the best, particularly if you are traipsing around inside Castle Greyhawk.
Mm-hmm.
For sale, one rod of resurrection, open box, all contents included.
Mint in box.
So,
Picture may vary from actual product.
what is it that you require of the church in exchange for this most useful item?
Well, this is useful at saving one person's life once, right?
Yes, that is correct. This item will crumble away after its final charges are used, but if it brings one of import or need back from the veil, one who is worthy, then the price is worthy.
So hypothetically, you save a king's butt, right? Or a prince's butt, or a lord's butt, right? That's the kind of thing you'd use it for.
Yes.
Okay.
To put it bluntly, that is correct.
I'm a dwarf. I put everything bluntly. Secondly,
I just thought you were a short, hairy child, but do continue.
our women have beards better than yours, thank you, sir. Secondly, and more importantly, the life of that one wealthy individual could fetch, I don't know, the going rate for a typical potion of extra healing these days is, what, 500 gold apiece?
A potion of binding wounds and healing one beyond the ken of a mere draught of or tincture is, well, it depends upon, but I am told by the alchemists and the sages that the current market value is in the neighborhood of perhaps 400 golden orbs.
Cool.
Of course, we here at the church, we have resources, such things. We don't pay wholesale.
Excellent.
We don't pay retail.
So I'd like to propose a trade. Or
Yes.
Or at least, so I need healing items for my own flock to keep them alive. right?
And as you stated when you last visited the chapel, we do not currently possess any.
Currently. You endeavor to acquire some and keep, let's say, filtering them our way in exchange for this rod into an arrangement of whatever the church sees fit. I continue to do your work, keep the flock safe. We get, say, I don't know, 100 healing potions out of it. Over time.
I'm sorry, the DM misunderstood you. How many healing potions did you say?
Well, at this instance, he said 100. If each one's worth 400, and you get 100 over time.
As a spokesman for the Church of the City of Greyhawk, I will make no open-ended deals with you. If you wish to name a price, monetary value, come to it. If you require access to a certain fixed number of potions, not 100 in the future,
I don't hear
we
a
shall
counteroffer.
arrange it.
I don't hear a counteroffer. What seems reasonable?
He gets up and paces back and forth. Should one of your band fall in an act of good, I don't mean at the pike point of the gendarmerie because of a drunken brawl in an alehouse. Come you then to this church, and this will be considered tithe for the raising of that person or those persons, no less than twice apiece.
So we give you one pocket resurrection in exchange for 2 normal resurrections. Is that what I'm hearing?
Raised deads, not resurrections.
That can't bring my husband back.
Actually, well, you know your husband's a dwarf. Raised dead will bring him back.
Ooh, excellent. Okay, then you have my interest. Abner?
Outlier, you're planning on going back and getting your husband out of the grave we've put him in and bringing him here immediately? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, what I'm suggesting is we hand in one rod of resurrection, which is of no use to us, in exchange for 2 raised deads, right? One of which gets my husband back, makes Outlier happy. One of which is of use to the group, and ergo is not is one more than we would have had otherwise.
Agreed.
Though you can talk him out of this idea. You can always raise dead on his husband later.
I think the raised dead should be used by perhaps Lynx when he dies for the next time. It's bound to happen. He's careless.
But you like the arrangement, the point, the whole 2 for 1 thing.
Yeah, yes, yeah. The general arrangement's fine, but I think we need to discuss the particulars of how it will be used in our group.
Excellent. Done, shake his hand him the rod, and leave.
All right. Done and dusted. So you guys have basically got 2 resurrections apiece.
Raised deads.
Raised deads.
Oh, 2 raised deads apiece.
Two raised deads apiece. He did say twice.
Okay. Then yes, I will definitely use one to bring my husband back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because it's a not inconsiderable magic item that you just gave them in terms of price. So
Instead of selling it.
all right. So
Turgo, if you don't get Turgo's the smart one. He's never in harm's way, so we haven't had to worry about him.
I just don't care if I die, particularly if I'm going to stay the same level of skills with never training, never having a pot to piss in.
Think of it. Think of it
buy
this
you a
way.
pot, if that's what
Think
you
of it this way. I just got us 8 get out of jail free IOUs. So you quit being a coward and you get out there and you check for those damn traps because I'm tired of finding them.
So I've been checking for the traps. You just won't stop running your mouth long enough to let me do it.
I want to make one.
Go.
I want one clarification with the DM. You said 2 raised deads each. Do you mean all 4 of us, or just TK and I that were in the talk?
He did say your party.
Okay, thank you. Cool.
All right. So that done, what do you guys wish to do?
Next day, go back to Castle Greyhawk and get some cash so we can get Turbo here a pot to piss in. Because that's easy what you need.
Seriously.
I wrote that down.
Just add it to our quests right now.
2 pots would be even better.
Don't get greedy now.
I think we can find you an urn.
Okay. As your journey back to Castle Greyhawk is fairly uneventful, except late in the afternoon of the first day. Actually, it's approaching evening. In the underbrush, in the marshy underbrush, you hear a chittering, snuffling sound, and it's maybe 20 yards away from you. Sticking its head up out of the underbrush is a giant weasel, and it's sniffing the air, and it looks at you and it bares its teeth and kind of hisses and jumps up and down. Now, it's as big as an alligator, so. But it is arching its back and pawing at the dirt.
Do we only see one?
You only see one.
Is it next to us or in front of us?
It's kind of in front to the right.
Toss some rations out. Get it to go away.
I was gonna say we have rations now, but yeah, we can do that. I'll throw some bread or some dried meat at it or something.
I will.
Okay.
I will impose my bill between us and it.
Okay. It falls on the rations ravenously, and it's it's tearing into the pemmican and jerky and so forth. And what can I say, folks? Weasels ripped that flesh. Riz. What? None of you Philistines are Frank Zappa fans? Goodness. All right. So, the weasel is eating the rations and does not confront you as you ride on. Later the next morning, after I'm guessing you encamp, or do you make your way to the Wayfarer Inn to camp for the night, then continue on?
Yeah, inn first and then continue.
Okay. All right. So no random encounters in the inn. Nope, no random encounters in the inn.
Attacked by mind flayers kills the whole party.
Yeah, exactly. The inn's just full of mind flayers. It's just mind flayer barmaid, mind flayer piano player, a piano flayer, just playing these tentacles. Farewell, Tonka Todd. No, it's the usual place. The barmaid welcomes you when you come in, and you spend a warm night. Head out in the morning. You pass some tribesmen who are just kind of crossing through the marshy area. Do you wish to stop and communicate with them?
We'll do the long distance hail. If we're
All right. And that's definitely not an acre-sized killer mimic that is pretending to be a bunch of people walking. I just want to point out how that is absolutely positively not what you see in the distance.
Why
Which
am I
means
not
it's
believing this
totally
now?
what we see.
either way,
I'm
it
just-
doesn't sound like it has treasure, so we're not interested.
And you once again find yourselves at the outskirts of Castle Greyhawk.
It's like coming home,
You sick.
except I smell more blood. Well, let's set up at the longhouse and begin the expedition. I guess we'll sleep at the longhouse and go
Yeah.
in the morning. 'Cause
Mhm.
It's probably
Yeah.
afternoon or whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, it is late afternoon, early evening there, and you can see just over the tops of the trees off to the northeast from where you're at, that storied pile of stones, mysterious Castle Greyhawk. The evening passes uneventfully, and you can go from there. You can proceed apace, as they say.
All right, gents.
What's-
I have my usual loadout. Thoughts?
Yeah. Do we want to continue going down the elevator? That seems a good place for us to explore. I think you had all explored in the well at one point. Now we could go back there if we thought that would be profitable.
It wasn't that profitable when we were there, but
I do want-
admittedly, we didn't try 3 other ways.
I do want to go back down that well, though. Well, we
Eventually.
only got the one way we did go. We only got 4 rooms in.
Looking at Genan's map, yeah, you got a little bit further in than that, but yeah, it seems there's only that so far. That was in the Orc area.
Mm-hmm.
Abner's open to any of them. He will want to go get some pamphlets, no matter which direction we go in.
Okay. As you guys are discussing this in the morning, you hear the horses begin to scream and whinny.
Scream's not good.
Nope.
Not when it's our side.
Okay, you damn manticore.
A damnticor.
That's true. I get my bow ready and I start looking through the sky.
Well, there's roof over you, so
Dang, they've cast some sort of spell.
a spell of I haven't left the longhouse yet.
Yeah, let's go outside and see what's causing the issue.
Yeah, bow at the ready.
Mm.
Okay. Over at the stables, you see the very large hulking frame of an owl bear, and it is glowering at the side of the stable. And it turns and looks at you guys and takes a couple of strides towards you and screeches, growls something in owl bearish and points at you with its wing paw arm thing, and then points at that and then points at you like this, and it is going on and on and on and on. And then it
Is it not? It's not it's just trying to communicate with us.
yeah, and it seems really, really, really pissed off.
I have a great sword, and I'm charging.
I try to talk to it, and I know several languages, not owlbear, unfortunately,
Okay.
but Gnoll, Orc, Goblin, Hobgoblin, Kobold. Try to run through my list of languages I know. Try to figure out what, if any, we.
Okay, so TK is charging it. What is Turgo doing?
Nothing. I'm going to keep my arrow ready and I'm going to watch, If it gets aggressive, I'll take a shot. Aggressive is somebody other than the guy that's charging it, basically. That hopefully this plays out in a more peaceful way than it looks like.
Okay.
I'm to be clear, I'm looking to just impose myself between it and the stable.
So you're not charging in the sense that you are sword out, gonna ram 4 feet of steel through it.
Correct.
You're running over to where it's at.
Yes.
Okay. What about Lynx? What is the Lynx doing?
I think I'm as shocked as somebody else. You know, watching somebody run at owlbear with a sword. So I'm gonna hold my fire and just kind of wait.
Okay, the owlbear sees you running towards it. It's absolutely ferocious and terrible looking, red-rimmed eyes get bigger, but it lowers itself down into a stance, and you're not quite sure, but as you're getting closer, you think it said the owlbear equivalent. Come on!
See? I should just cut this damn thing's head off.
But you're not charging to attack it. You're just moving at full speed over next to the barn, right?
I'm intercepting.
Okay, well, it roars, and for its action in the round, it is going to take a swing at you.
Hit AC 0.
Don't challenge.
Your AC 0, you say?
AC 0.
All right. Give me just a second. And then it peeled and ate the dwarf. It was so horrible.
Who knew they were living
Yalbar had
cannibals?
monk levels.
Let's see.
Would you all seriously try and talk to an owlbear? Seriously?
Yeah.
It's been my
Have you
dream
ever seen
to
an
ride
owlbear
an
try to
owlbear.
communicate like that? No. So I thought maybe it's cursed or something.
Have you ever seen an owlbear bite a dwarf in half?
You're about to. If y'all don't
I'm about
back.
to. Hey, if you didn't charge forward, I could probably put him to sleep. But I'm gonna.
I mean, you can still put him to sleep.
But I'll probably put you to sleep with my luck.
Okay, let's see.
Then our opening talk to the owlbear is, look, we've stopped the crazy dwarf. You should be our friend.
Pretty much, yeah.
That actually is a good idea.
That's the only reason Sir Outlier would slow down, is that he doesn't see or hear anybody behind him.
All right, so Outlier, it basically just sticks a paw out and catches your head, squeezes it for 4 points of damage, and then leans forward and bites you with its giant beak, missing you with its other paw, and bites you for 9. So you take a total of 13 points of damage.
Word.
That's crouching owl technique. It's dangerous.
All right, so it's a new round. What is Lynx doing?
Well, he got attacked. You know what? At this point, I think I'm taking pot shots with my arrow.
Yeah.
All right, how about Abner?
Are we within 60, I guess, feet of it? Range? 3?
About 50 feet, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to try to cast sleep and hope I put it to sleep and not Sir Outlier.
And Turgo's going to fire arrows?
Yes, sir.
All right, what are the men-at-arms have come out of the longhouse? What do we do?
Leo and Nerm should run up.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Guard
I'm
us.
just gonna yell and
Yeah.
stab it.
Run.
All right, let's Kyle. Since it's kind of incumbent on what happens on this next round, why don't you go ahead and roll initiative, TK?
Sure. For the record, I am applying Great Sword to head. Initiative 4.
Okay, it's a tie. Natural weapons go first. Claw, beak.
Mm-hmm.
Miss. I'm going to have to check that one. Your armor class is 0, correct?
Correct.
All right.
I'm at 5 hit points.
And beak.
I
Oh,
should have just
that's...
went with my gut and charged it.
well, the bad news is it hits you with a paw. The good news is it misses you with its beak. So it does swat you. Unfortunately, that's for 6. So you are unconscious at -2 and bleeding out. Missile fire
-1.
for the party, please.
I miss
Okay.
badly.
Yeah, I missed too.
Okay. You guys each have another arrow shot.
Yeah, I hit AC 1 that time.
Oh, that hits. Yeah.
Don't think I hit.
6 points of damage.
Wow. That one sinks in and he's. Ah!
Sorry. Don't come after me.
I hit AC 8, but I don't think that hits.
Yeah, no, that just kind of sticks in his feathers and falls out. And he reaches over and plucks the arrow out, throws it on the ground, narrows his eyes, and starts digging at the ground. And he's going to be heading over towards the party. Sleep spell. Sleep. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Crap.
Nothing happens. Okay. A-Week says, if only I knew the number to hit armor class 0. I have it. I got it right here. Okay. It is going to spend its round running towards the party. It's covering the distance between you guys.
Treat.
What is Turgo doing in the next round?
I'm going to run into the longhouse.
Okay, how about Lynx?
I'll drop my bow, grab my sword, and stay at the door to try and prevent.
Okay, how about Abner?
Oh, so Lynx, you're blocking the doorway right now?
Not from you guys, just from out
Nothing
there.
gets in the cabin.
I just want to make sure, like, so you're blocking the door so the owlbear can't get in, but we're gonna all go in first.
I'm right there at the door.
Okay.
Not
Cleric is
necessarily
bleeding
blocking
out.
it yet, but I probably could take
Okay.
one step back and block it.
So Abner and his people will go in. Leo and Naram, if possible, will have spears out behind Lynx. I guess ready for charge. Ready for accept the charge.
Okay, it does not charge with a capital C. It just moves its maximum move. So let's roll initiative. Mark.
Yep. 3.
Party goes first. It kind of stumbles a little off the starting blocks, and you guys are able to move back into the cabin, and it gets over there and is standing at the door and just screeching and swatting, and you guys moved and it moved basically in the round. So new round. Lynx, what are you doing?
So it's coming closer, but we're at the door,
Yeah, it's up on you.
and
It has covered the distance.
there's a dwarf outside. Oh boy!
Is there only one exit to the longhouse?
There are some narrow windows high up on the wall. They're more like arrow slits, but they let light in.
There's no door to the stables or something.
Correct.
We have to get Outlier.
Yeah.
Can
All
you
right.
push forward and a hireling can run out and at least stabilize the guy?
Sometimes you need to be a big hero. I run out away from the longhouse to try and get the owlbear's attention. To try and,
So that's what you're doing. The men-at-arms are fighting. What is Abner doing?
Abner's staying in the longhouse, but one of his hirelings will be stupid and brave, and if there's a clear, like an opening, will run out to Sir Outlier
All
to
right.
stabilize the guy.
Your valet is bravely trying to hide behind a silk handkerchief.
Good.
What is Turgo doing?
I had hoped to use one of those windows. Can I reach it, or is it too high up?
No, you can reach it.
Yeah, I'd like to take cover behind the window and use it as an arrow slit, basically.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it's in such a way that it's basically conically angled outside, so you can see to the door. Whoever constructed this place, by whatever means, they thought of that.
I was hoping. Perfect.
All right. Then how about at Doomsword? Roll initiative for us, please. So I know what the owlbear is fixing to do.
5.
Party goes first. Lynx, you go bolting past it. Let's see. On a 1 or a 2, it will take a swat at you as you run by. Otherwise, it's trying to have hireling sandwich. It's going to focus on the hirelings as you kind of tumble past it.
Okay.
So you're outside now. Let me. Do you guys want to roll the attacks for hirelings? They have spears and whatnot. Oh no! Missile fire goes first. Missile fire goes first. Take your first arrow shot.
That's AC 3.
That will hit.
Oh, another 6.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, that catches it in the neck, and it's like, God, son of a. And it's rearing back. If only you guys knew what this owl bear had been on about.
Yeah, we would've.
Okay. Turgo, I'm guessing Lynx. I'm sorry, Lynx. I'm guessing you're running over to stabilize Outlier, correct?
Something like that. I was distracting the owlbear so somebody else could do it. But if he's
Okay,
ignoring me,
it's focusing
I'll do
on
that.
what's. Yeah.
I'll go run over and stabilize them.
Okay. All right. Well, it's the owlbear's turn. Or no, it's the Leo and Erm.
Leo and Erm. One of them hit with a 19. I think that will probably hit
That will hit.
for 3 points of damage.
Oh no!
Wow.
That didn't
Awesome.
That was
kill the
impressive.
owlbear, it killed Bill.
Yeah.
Somebody dunk him.
What the hell happened?
Oh no!
Sorry about it. I don't know what happened. There was a hiccup on StreamYard, and I'm sorry about that, viewers and folks. I don't know. Everything was hunky dory, and then it wasn't. I went away. It was very dark. Sorry, audience.
Orion was a star.
All right.
My stream now.
I have seized control of the stream. Following revolutionary brothers and sisters are to be freed. The 7 members of the New Provo Front. 4 members of the Liberté de Quebec. And our brothers and sisters in the Asian Dawn. I read about them in time. Okay, so you're trying to distract it. It's not being distracted. Men-at-arms stab it. It's taken a lot of injury. It doesn't seem to like that. Let's see. Oops. Okay. I know what it's going to do in the next round. I'm sorry, I'm doing it again. Lynx is stabilizing. TK Sir Outlier is no longer bleeding to death. You're at -5, but stabilized. Abner, you are doing what?
Not much Abner can do at the moment, except hope that the hirelings do not allow the owlbear into the longhouse.
Okay. And so we have a final. Or no, you shot both your arrows, right?
I didn't shoot the second one.
Okay. All right. So take your second shot.
Oh, that's AC 4.
Good Lord.
I'm
taking
on
it
fire tonight.
I am
That's only
taking
3
that
points,
bow
though.
away from you. Okay, so
It's the first time ever that I've actually been effective with it. So.
well, it is tremendously effective, and given how you're basically shooting the thing from a sally, you're not in the risk of hitting the men at arms who have spears. All right,
Blind
it will.
squirrel today.
Yep. Okay, it slaps one of the men at arms with one paw, but misses with all the other attacks. Nerm takes 6 points of damage.
I think that probably kills him.
Nerm is launched backwards over a table and collapses in a heap. The owl bear rears up on its back leg, bellows a terrible roar screech, but is kind of shuffling backwards. Lynx, what are you doing in the new round?
So am I stabilizing Outlier right now?
Outlier is stabilized.
Okay. Then I will stand up and try and engage the owlbear.
Okay. Abner is staying back in the cabin, I'm presuming.
Yes. And Leo will try to avenge his friend Nerm.
Okay. And finally, Turgo.
Arrows.
Okay. TK, roll initiative for the party, please.
Okie dokie, that is a 4.
Owlbear is bolting. Leo can take a shot at him at +4 if he wishes.
Yes. He only got a 13. Probably doesn't hit.
13 for a level 0 is probably not going to hit it. I'll double check it. Let's see. Negative. Good, buddy. So, yeah, he kind of stabs at him. It just thick matted feathers and hair and dirt and, wasp nest, sticks and twigs, just kind of turns the spear away. And he's gets his full movement out of doors. Well, not his full movement. That's 120 yards, but gets like on the corner of the woods, and it's like yelling and gesturing at you, and then turning and running back into the woods.
If only one of us spoke owlbear.
Indeed. This would have been a perfect place to play my buddy Bob Antone's song about owl bears. I should have dropped that into the live stream. Okay.
We stabilized Nerm.
Nerm is stabilized. I mean, he wasn't reduced to -3 or lower with a single blow, was he?
How many hit points does he usually have?
7.
7? Oh, he got hit by for 6. He was actually at 1 hit point then.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Everything hurts. Ow.
Let's get Outlier in here. Lay him down.
Maybe we should test out those priests. Let's kill the hireling and then see if they raise him.
I'm fine. He levers himself up.
I thought you felt better.
Waves his spear around on the defense, sir. Spits up a couple of gobbets of fresh red blood. He's like, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Sterling effort there, Nerm.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Well, I guess we're just waiting for Outlier to wake up then, because he's our healer. And
Yeah.
he heals himself.
Mhm.
So let's get
Okay.
comfortable.
The moment Outlier wakes up, he will curse that owlbear, you, and everything that you own for making him stop to charge the owlbear.
Okay. So, only 20 minutes go by before Outlier is conscious. You were brought down to what exactly? Down to
-3
-3. Okay.
total.
All right.
-1 and then -2, and I was stabilized at -3.
Okay. All right. So yeah, after 20 minutes of coma, you're able to get back up on your feet. Your ears are ringing. Fortunately, you're nowhere near them, but the party is able to kind of help stitch you back together.
Abner wants to go out and check the stable and make sure everything's okay with the stable. The owlbear wanted something. Maybe he just wanted to eat our horses. But
Mm-hmm.
There's a girl
Possible.
owlbear in there. Oh crap!
Yeah.
exactly. Abner's going to open it up, and there's going to be like an owlbear inside, who, because he didn't have thumbs, couldn't open the gate.
If that's all he was asking.
Wait, who is inside?
Oh,
No.
we're joking that owlbear's mate was inside the.
Who? I just never mind.
Go to
Okay.
jail.
I deserve it. Vincent, you're saying at 0 you die. In basic D&D and original D&D, that is the case. At 0, you're unconscious but not bleeding out. -1, -2, you're unconscious and requiring medical attention to stop bleeding out. -3 or lower in a single blow, like if you have 15 hit points and you get done for 19 points of damage, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
As you're slain outright. So it's a little no, that's okay. It's just a little different. I'm just explaining that to Vincent there. So yes, Outlier, you're back up on your feet. You feel terrible, but you are able to hobble very slowly, very painfully around the cabin and angrily and feebly wave your sword at your party members. I just have this mental image of Outlier just like being perpetually angry at everyone always.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's probably true. He's
At
gonna
this
get
point-
angrier when I tell him that I drank one of his whiskeys too.
Probably.
What
Good
was the
news
owlbear
and
trying
bad
to
news.
communicate?
Good news, I'm spending the next 8 hours on my butt casting spells. I guess the follower is back to full hit points, and I'm also back to full hit points at the end of that time. I just did my rolls.
Okay.
So, bad news, we lost 8 hours. Good news, I'm yelling at y'all and calling you incompetent boobs for the next 8 hours.
But are you going to be laid up, like rules-wise? You're going to be laid up for a whole week. 'Cause
Probably.
You're below 0.
Probably.
What was that owlbear trying to communicate to us? It was obviously trying to communicate something.
That's
What is your wisdom?
An 11 for me.
Roll 3d6.
Really? Okay.
Feeling generous. Roll 3d6.
Okay. I got 13.
No idea.
Yeah.
Horrible bear bird thing that just tried to crack the dwarf like a chestnut, and was then chased off with stabbing and arrow fire. The truth is, you may never know.
May never know. But everything's fine in the stable, right? Abner does go out and check to make sure the horses are still there.
Oh yeah, horses are fine. Very spooked, but generally speaking, they're fine. In fact, they're the guests of honor, right, Dungeon Minister? Talking about the owl bear was trying to leave you guys church literature.
Something extended warranty.
Yeah. I mean, I know what the owl bear was there about, but of course, you guys don't.
No. So, Bill, because
Yes?
Outlier was into negative hit point territory, is he laid up for a whole week?
He is laid up for a few days at least.
Okay.
But during that time, not only does nothing happen, positive or negative, but he's able to get enough rest in.
Excellent.
And so the days pass more or less uneventfully. Your man-at-arms is actually quite handy with needle and thread, and he's able to stitch Outlier's clothes back together as well as his own. Not as well as your valet might, but, you know. So what do you guys wish to do?
Buy a new helmet.
We have 2 extra helmets. You get a new helmet right now.
Excellent.
Shall we, the next day that we can, attempt to go with the plan of going back to Castle Greyhawk?
That was the plan. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Albert was just hungry, honestly. So,
Mm-hmm.
Unless we want to track it down, which I will say that Manticore had more treasure than the castle, but
Mm-hmm.
but otherwise,
You got anybody that can track it down?
that would be you, Turgo.
If it was bleeding, we may be able to follow the trail.
Right. I mean, I can take a look. I'll go take a look at about the whereabouts where the owlbear came from and see if there's any obvious tracks or anything like that.
No. After a few days of inclement weather here and again during various times, it's completely obliterated. If you were a ranger, maybe, but no.
Right.
Well, and the only other thing I can think of that might be useful before we go back to Castle Greyhawk is build a fence around the longhouse. But
Sure.
that's a construction project, so let's
Sure.
just go back.
We're adventurers, not landscapers.
You hire the 24 workmen for that job.
Exactly.
I got 24 workmen right here. You guys, I'll get an axe and I'll direct, and
I got something for you.
My left boot in your teeth.
We're a family show. Okay.
let's head back down and head to the elevator side, or are we going to try and go down to the cistern?
It was still an open question which way and where we're going to go.
My vote's for the elevator.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I'm curious about the cistern, but that's only because I want to kill more orcs.
You want to fight something you can handle?
Now I want revenge.
Got you.
Do we want to go back to the room with the ooze that killed Lynx? Sorry, Lynx. Maybe that's too soon.
PTSD.
I wouldn't mind getting revenge. Did we kill that thing? I don't think I was.
Yes, you did. You did slay it.
There.
I mean, you were there in spirit.
There's two other
Lingering
doorways. There's two other doorways from there.
Let's go back that way then, because I died there, so whatever I get's mine. You know.
Well, I
Yeah,
secured
you
you a
can-
free raised head, so
So that means down the elevator, through that gallery, up past the ogre chamber, the northeast sloping passage. Then there's a room with 4 doors in it. And we
Mhm.
went to the east door that had the ooze in it.
Well, let's die to the other oozes and the other doors. So let's
Yeah.
go that way.
Okay. Let's do it.
Alrighty. Your journey back to the castle is uneventful. There's the tower. The door is almost fully closed. It's only just a couple of inches open. Who wishes to open it?
Abner likes that stuff.
Yeah. Abner will have one of his hirelings open it for him.
All right.
Go open that for me.
He puts his back into it and shoves it all the way open. There's the table, the chair, the cheesy fake plant.
And some pamphlets.
Standee full of them.
Grab. What are they this time?
It is an owl bear looking straight out of the illustration, holding a bloody mass in one hand that when you kind of get it out in the light, you realize is a head with a full beard on it. And written in common underneath it, the owl bear is pointing out, says, "Only you can prevent dwarves."
Looks a lot like that.
Excellent. I will take that stack.
All right.
If nothing else, this is some loot.
Somebody's paying us for that, so that counts. Well, fourth time, let's get our fourth chair out of this room as well.
All right. You going around to the right, correct?
Yep.
That's the
Already.
Sending a thief to the right. We're all going left. Nice try again.
Well, it is incumbent on me to try and trick the players every so often. So you go around to the left. There's the shiny metal box. Its welcoming doors open.
hit that
First one
button.
down. Yeah.
Dee 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 ding. Shunk.
Is it that same gallery room?
It is that same gallery room.
Then I suggest we go through that entrance, that opening, north through the orchard chamber, trying not to think about the overthinking message. Then at the next crossroads, we take the passage that's the northern passage that kind of goes northeast.
Okay. The one that slants to the northeast.
Yes.
Okay. The door is there. It is closed.
Somebody's got a bill hook.
Yeah, we should open that door.
Yeah, let me inspect the door first, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it all the way around. Locking mechanism, if there is one, handle, all that.
One handle, no locking mechanism. Door does not appear to be trapped.
Okay, looks fine. I'll stand aside.
Okie dokie. With the application of my bill, that is a 2, which succeeds in opening most doors.
All right, you drag the door open. It slowly grinds away, and you are looking into a 10 by 10 chamber with doors to the left, to the right, and straight ahead of you.
Let's
To
go
the
left.
right is the ooze chamber. Shall we take the door straight ahead of us now?
Left.
The left door. Very well.
Yeah,
Okay.
I suppose we'll go
Check it out.
check that one out.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at the door on the left. The same basic idea.
All right, you don't detect any traps on it.
Have at it.
I fail to open the door and then succeed.
All right, so you kind of have to push in with a thud and pull out and push in and pull out. So, it's a little on the noisy side, but it doesn't attract anything. But eventually you do drag the door open. The hallway to the left goes 10 feet and turns to the southwest.
Shall we go?
Sure. It doesn't look from your map, Abner. It doesn't look like that doubles back into anything.
It will perhaps come back towards that room that has the trap door and the door to the mirrored space.
All right. Yeah, I guess we'll proceed down that hallway.
Or we should check
Or-
the one last door here. Open it up
We could do that, too.
first. I think that'd be a better idea.
Yeah.
All right. I'll defer to them and do that.
Okay, door to the north then.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
No traps are detected there.
Stay inside.
That is a 4. So that succeeds.
Okay. You drag the door open. You hear from the north, as soon as you open it, a hacking cough. And this voice says, who goes there?
Candygram from Ongo.
It's a bear.
It is I, Lynx, the fighter. I'm really not a very nice guy.
Okay.
I should have never taught Turgo to lie.
Charging with a capital C down the hall is a horrid green and black rubbery creature, approximately 11 feet tall, with black pits for eyes, a great, huge, long nose, long arms that are almost dragging the floor, and hair like black iron wire sticking out of the top of its head. Its yellow teeth dripping yellowish drool. It is moving straight at let's see. Well, it's moving straight at you. It is a true troll, and it looks hungry and angry. And it will charge with a capital C, and it will swat, bite. Lynx, Outlier, and Turgo are going to take attacks. That is a miss on Outlier. That is a hit on Lynx. That is a miss on Turgo. So Lynx, you are just rears back with a bony claw and smashes it down into you. And you take... Let's see. Oh, Piffle, you able to survive that. Yeah, 5 points of damage.
Could have been worse.
The worst is next round.
It bellows, I'll kill every one of you. Party, you may all act. What is Lynx doing?
I hope I'm gonna burn it with my torch.
Okay.
I'm applying Great Sword to problem.
Okay. And what about Turgo?
Yeah. Does it look like I can back off and get my bow ready, or am I engaged like in melee with this guy where he'll attack me?
You can back off, but this is a fairly small space. You think getting your bow ready in a 10 by 10 room is probably not
Right.
gonna.
All right, I'll just stab it with my short sword.
Okay.
Whatever.
The men at arms will fight with spears. You guys basically have the round. It's round charging with a capital C. Counter attacks, please.
I hit AC 2 for 15 points of damage.
Wow, it really didn't like that.
I rolled almost min.
For men at arms, will a 13 or 15 hit?
The 13 comes closest, but I don't think that's going to hit. Let me see. We're talking about 0. Yeah, no, their swords just kind of bounce off its rubbery skin.
Can Abner lob a flask of oil?
Yes, it will be missile fire in a melee, but you can do so.
I hit AC 4, attacking
You
with
hit it.
torch.
No, I rolled a
that is-
20.
Sorry.
That is 1 to 6 points of damage with a torch.
Okay,
Abner missed with his oil flask.
5 damage.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. It screams at you and lunges at you with both of its claws and its mouth open. Roll your damage there, Turgo, please.
That would be 5.
Okay. So 5, 15. Yeah. This thing, its greasy insides are hanging out of a couple of splits. It's all kind of starting to move and sort of tuck itself back in, except where you burned it with your torch. So you missed with your you missed with your oil, correct?
Yes, I did.
All right, give me just a half a second here. And okay, you miss it completely. It lands 4 feet to the right, not hitting any of your party members, splashes and bursts, and it sort of shuffles away from it. I know what it's doing in the next round. Melee's continuing. Is Abner throwing oil again, or what?
No, he's worried that he's going to get one of his people in. He's going to get one of his people involved, so he's not going to throw another one.
Okay, TK, roll initiative for us, please.
3.
It is a tie. Its claws will go first, and it is focusing exclusively on Lynx for the torch burn. Hits you with a claw, misses you with a claw. What is your armor class?
Mine 2.
All right. Oof, still got you.
They
All
had
right.
fire.
That's why I was trying to use it against it.
Well, there's a price, barbarian.
Wow, that was the most pathetic. So you take a grand total of 5 points. It lays into you, but it is like trying to dodge and weave around the torch, lunges in for the bite, and barely, like, it just takes away like a gold piece sized chunk of your flesh on your shoulder, and spits out some of your tunic and a couple of armor rings, but chews and swallows. So yeah. Oh, you guys are treating your melee damage against large, aren't you? Because this thing is like 11 feet tall. Okay. All right. Counterattacks, please.
I hit AC 2 for 19.
Nope. Hirelings miss.
Okay.
I miss.
All right.
Yeah, and I missed as well.
Oh, God.
All right. It is cut up and in bad shape, but
Damn, 19 didn't bring it down.
nope. You can now see that, like snakes and worms and maggots, its muscle and sinew and guts have started to tuck themselves back in, and the slits and tears that they came out of are starting to suffocate shut. Same melee in the next round.
Yep.
That's the plan.
Yep.
Alrighty. How about Mark? Roll initiative for us, please.
3.
Party will go first.
I don't think that hits.
Nope. Can't roll anything better than 15, it seems.
I miss. Oh, my
no.
God.
Oh no, that's not good.
All right.
What does AC 8 doesn't hit.
No. Okay. One for Turgo, because it is basically tall enough that it is leaning over to grab Turgo by the top of the head and squeeze. One for Lynx. It's going to ball up its fist and smash you in the face, and it is going to lean over and bite the dwarf. So, Turgo, you take
Come on. This is the dwarf's fault.
5 points of damage.
All right.
Lynx, you take 6 points of damage.
Oh,
And the dwarf has missed.
Yes.
its jaw slams shut. You're too low to the ground. You had gouged out one of its eyes, and it no depth perception for a moment. Okay. Next round pays for all the bets. All right.
Okay.
If any of you guys want me to drop another troll in the room with him, super chat me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Who's rolling initiative?
New round, and that is going to be Doomsword. Roll initiative, please.
2.
Okay, cool. Same.
Back for that round.
Yes, you guys did, and you won't miss.
Yeah.
Same attack pattern.
Lynx is gonna back off
After you get punched in the face.
after I get punched.
All right, Mrs. Turgo,
Sweet.
Mrs. Lynx.
Oh.
Oh, that's. I hate the edge cases, but we're gonna have to see.
I'm Agent K from Men in Black, jumping up and down, screaming, "Eat me!"
But it just misses you this time. Like its mouth clamps down on like your bracered arm, but it can't penetrate. Passerby says super chat for an adamantium golem. It would have to be a huge super chat for me to do that to them. Super chat for party heals. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Go ahead and roll your counters.
AC 3, 20 damage.
20?
20.
Wow.
Okay.
So if I back off, I just spend the whole turn doing that, or can I pull out?
You're in a 10 by 10 space. You can't really back off unless you leave the room.
Can I leave the room? I leave the room.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You go out the southern door.
Good luck, guys.
How about Turgo?
Yeah, I hit. This is before I knew he was running because I would have ran, but I hit AC2 for 5 points of damage.
Well, between Outlier and Turgo, you guys slice off its head, remove one of its legs at the hip, and it falls down soundlessly. Its mouth is screaming maledictions at you.
Right.
The leg is like actively pushing itself back towards the thing's body, but it is down. It is effectively down, but it is trying to heal.
Abner's going to start burning the body. TK, you collect some blood off that leg.
Yeah, I'm just going to take the leg and my presumably empty bottle of whiskey. If not, I'll take Lynx's empty bottle of whiskey, and I will proceed to quite literally juice the leg.
You have, you're talking about a femoral artery. So yeah, you basically, a 5 foot long femoral artery gives you a pint of blood. So, congratulations.
What's the coward doing?
I am nearly dead, and I am back in the hallway.
Yeah,
You guys hang out with you.
I would.
You guys actively hear blood dripping out of Lynx, like spattering on the floor. Tap, 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 tap.
Abner.
Yeah.
I'm going to yell at you to pass me another leg before you burn it, and I'll throw you the spent one and hand me your fresh one.
I just said I was burning the body. So if
Damn
there's
it.
anything left, Abner's not good at. He's not going to be able to cut the leg off himself. So.
Yeah, no, all the blood is spilled out of the head, so a pint is what you're able to get.
What do you call it? Lynx gets 4 hit points back when he gets the gumption to come back in and see the burnt body.
I got
Okay.
5 hit points.
Holy shit.
So is this just another small 10 by 10 room?
This was the room you were in. You opened the door, it screamed, "Who goes there?" Y'all mouthed off, and it charged into the room with you. So
Abner's going to go in with one of his hirelings with a torch and just see what is beyond that door that the troll came from.
okay, you see a 20-foot long hallway, 10 foot wide, that ends in a in a larger chamber that is at least 20 feet deep, and there is a door immediately opposite the opening into that room you're looking at.
Is there anything? Well, any other trolls? Anything else?
No, the smell is of trolls, and it's pretty awful, but no.
Okay, we got some troll blood.
I got one more of those. Who wants it?
I would really enjoy another healing spell.
Yeah, it's best for him to have that.
All right, you get 6 back.
I'm over half health now.
I'm unfazed.
So we have the troll came out of this room. There's one door here. Do we keep going, or do we turn back?
No loot. Let's go.
I think we need to continue to explore, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. So our choices are that door and that passage that went back to southwest.
I kind of like the passage to the southwest because that might complete our map, right? Because that's the section that might link back up.
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, if we're not sure,
Yeah.
Either one, we could flip a coin at this point.
Let's go straight.
Okay.
Done.
Okay.
Check the door for traps and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going north. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this room is very oddly shaped. On the left-hand side, as you go in, it extends 10 feet. Basically, it would be a 30-foot wide by 20-foot deep room, except on the right-hand side, the entire room is angled to the northeast.
Okay.
And goes 10 feet. However, it is very clear that the troll was using this as some kind of nest or lair. There is a filthy sack that it was obviously using as a pillow. And let's see.
If we have a proverbial 10-foot pole we can poke things with.
We have a literal 10-foot pole.
That's, yeah.
Yep.
I'll literally poke things with a figurative 10-foot pole.
Okay. So the bag makes a sort of clinking sound. It's a huge bag, I should point out.
Sleeping on this pile of gold.
Not
Plaque,
comfortable.
you're such a naysayer.
I'm a realist.
Yeah, dig up in there and find out what's up.
With a sword, I open up the stupid F sack or whatever.
Can't you just count it from the outside?
You just what do you just split it open, or
Actually, that's true. I just stick my sword in there and try and use its counting power. Can I count gold?
was it detect treasure and amount, or
Detect treasure and amount in a 20-foot radius.
okay? There's 1,000 gold in the bag. There is a gemstone. There is a piece of jewelry, and let's see. Yeah, so that's what is immediately in the bag there around.
Excellent.
All right, Turgo, there's a gemstone, a piece of jewelry, and 100 1,000 gold pieces that you're looking for in there when you go in.
Oh, nice.
I believe this is a proverbial pot that you're looking for.
That gemstone and that jewelry, I mean, that could be worth untold thousands.
I got a great idea. Let's give it to the Thieves Guild and see if maybe they'll do us a favor later on down the road.
Yeah.
Somehow
Look for the-
us
look for the
as far as we
church.
can take them.
It was then that they gave themselves the name the party that never levels. Okay.
Yeah, I'll poke around and like actually dig through that stuff.
Okay.
You know?
It is a filthy, filthy mess, but you do come up with a bottle with some kind of liquid in it. And bear with me here just a second.
A wand he was using as a toothpick.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
That's a dwarf bone.
A scroll of butt wiping.
Okay, so what you find, the 1,000 gold, the gemstone, which somebody make a note of that on your notes.
Got it.
Corian's got all that, right? Is that-
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah, the potion is a strong, almost mercury-like silvery liquid.
Nice.
The DM, I have to pull up Notepad because until you guys get it identified.
Like, no, it's not like Quicksilver. It's actually mercury, and you're dead now.
All right, so let's see.
Isn't
Oh
Quicksilver
no, this was
another name for Mercury?
It is.
That's what I thought.
yes.
Yeah, well,
Was it? Hang on. Sorry, I just need to check something real quick, guys.
It's the curse on that potion.
So it's any two. Okay. Alrighty.
It both enlarges and reduces you at the same time.
There is a scroll tube.
Mm.
So you have a scroll tube, you have a potion, and I have to roll on this table now.
Table of random deaths.
There is a velvet bag with what feels like several 3x5-inch plaques. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that to you guys.
Okay, good. Thank you, Bill.
Remember what you ended the last session with.
There is actually just kind of thrown into a heap a suit of mail of human or perhaps elven-sized mail of plate.
Do we just keep giving Lynx all the magical equipment?
And
you can give it to my hirelings.
yeah,
Let's
this
give it to
armor when
Lynx.
you pick it up, it does not weigh as much as it should.
Ooh, that's pretty good armor.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest we probably accumulate all this and head back to the Longhouse for us to.
We don't have
Mhm.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Honestly,
Okay.
we just take the whole sack.
We got our own sacks that are less dirty.
Yeah,
I mean, what's the point in going through it here, when it's dangerous? Just
But no, I agree. Let's all load it up, and
Yeah.
I'm cool with just going back for now, especially with that hit point. Right?
Abner, however, will grab that scroll tube because he wants to check it out.
mhm.
And he's
Okay.
Mark's going to regret this. He looks at it just to see is it arcane or divine in nature. or cursed.
We're all dead.
No, just me mainly. But I got to read it, otherwise it just disappears.
And that is how the campaign went from Greyhawk to Tamriel. It was that specific curse of send the party to another plane. All right. So first of all, it is magical. It is not clerical.
That's a plus.
And you don't know how many spells exactly, or you don't know what spells they are, but you can tell that there are 8 spells on the scroll.
Oh boy. Okay.
Alrighty, adventurers. I think we're going to do a little cliffhanger there. You've got all this loot, a dead troll. You're somewhere deep in the depths of Castle Greyhawk. Who knows what's on that scroll? We'll find out next week. See you then, adventurers. I want to thank my audience. I want to thank our patrons and our friends over on Subscribestar. I especially want to thank our participants. Love having you guys here week in and week out. And I want to say a special thank you for being here, and a farewell, of course, to James, who his weeks just don't allow him to come in and play consistently. So he elected to step away from the table. There's always a seat for you here, buddy, if and when you want to come back. Until then, we salute you and we'll see you around. I will be back tomorrow. I'll double check my calendar and let you guys know whether or not we're going to do some more White Plume, or are we going to talk to Kyle. And of course, on Thursday, deeper into the depths of White Plume. Friday, deeper into the depths of White Plume, but also some Gamma World. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy, guys. Peace.
See ya.
See ya.
Peace out.